Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey, and I hope you're having a good. What day is this? Thursday? Yeah, it's Thursday. I hope you're having a great Thursday out there. Um, Mine is. Huh. I tried to go to bed early, you guys. It didn't work, so I got up and played a video game for a little bit. Went back to bed. Immediately woke my poor wife up. She's been up since like 3:30 in the morning. Um, and I managed to get all of 4 hours of sleep. And I woke up three times, count them three, to pee. I know it's probably too much information, but three times in 4 hours, you guys. And it's not like I even drank a lot or anything. My body was just like, fuck you, monkey. Me and my body are having a disagreement today. But we're going to ignore that and move on with our show, shall we? But otherwise, it's still a good day. Any day you wake up and you're smiling and happy, which I am, is a good day. They say any day you wake up is a good day. Is it? I feel like there's some people who don't feel that way. I'm not going to get into that because we're still in the first 10 minutes, and I feel like I'll get demonetized for that. Oh, speaking of demonetized, I saw an article today. Apparently, YouTube is out there demonetizing any video that talks about a thing we're not allowed to talk about that's happening worldwide. I don't care. These get demonetized all the time anyway. Go ahead and demonetize this one, YouTube. Anything talking about coronavirus, anything, and even if you try to shorten it, if you hint about it, there's game channels who are doing, updates on E3 and other gaming conferences that are being shut down due to fears of coronavirus. Just mentioning it, any kind. You don't even have to say the word. Say that it was shut down because of, in chat, Kibernam just said that sickness. Yeah, if you said that, say E3 is being shut down because of that sickness. Bam, done. Hit. None. No money for you. Unless you work for CNN, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, Fox, one of these giant conglomerates who really don't need YouTube advertising money. They can still get it. But otherwise, yeah, absolutely. They're hitting us for it, you guys. Well, at least I have a reason now. At least I have a reason. If I talk about coronavirus, like, oh, well, there goes my monetization instead of the normal. The fuck did I say this time kind of attitude towards it, Richo says, how dare you steal the dogs? Look, guys, if you are watching this and you'd normally be watching somebody else say P-Dog Night, please go watch P-Dog Night. You can always come back and watch this later. I'll be around. Don't worry. My streams don't go down. If you ever can't find one, they're usually in a, they're in a privatized, or they're not private, sorry, unlisted playlist. The playlist you can go find, but all the videos on it are unlisted. You go to the playlist and just select the one you want. It's just to keep the main page from having nothing but black boxes with my face in it. But yeah, so Sean says, Wu flu or COVID? Yeah, you're not allowed to talk about it. YouTube is protecting their advertisers, is what they're saying. Protecting their advertisers. Because I've been over this with the whole advertiser thing so many times that it's redundant, but fuck it, let's say it again. These same fucking advertisers have no problem advertising on places like CNN, MSNBC, NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox News, all of these that cover horrific topics with graphic detail, including showing videos. But when you come over to the YouTube side of things, YouTube side of thing where you have to agree that you're 13 before you can even get an account. You don't have to do that when you sit down to watch HBO in a doctor's office, do you? Not HBO. I said CNN in a doctor's office. I hadn't even got to the HBO part of the rant yet. But are you old enough to be watching this, young man? We need you to click this button. No. But on YouTube, if it's on YouTube, advertisers suddenly, oh no, we're very, very scared of it. And the truth is, it's not that the advertisers are scared of it. It's that YouTube knows what's going to happen. You have an ad show up on one of those videos, you guys, and it's triggering. And the Wall Street Journal is going to go out there and tell a fucking story and bring us all down again. Because YouTube capitulated the first time instead of telling the Wall Street Journal to go fuck itself. because for some reason, Susan Wojcicki thinks that she needs to suck up to her competitors. Seriously. She thinks you need to suck up to the competitor. She's Coke thinking you need to suck up to Pepsi. Susan, I think look, we've discussed this before. Fuck it, I'm already demonetized for coronavirus, so let's get into this. Susan, I've said it several times. I would bang you. I find you rather bangable, sweetheart. But you're kind of an idiot when it comes to this. You're an idiot. This is your show. You have the biggest video platform in the world. And you're sucking up to people who are coming to your platform because theirs are failing. What the fuck are you doing? You don't have to hamstring us like this. You don't have to. It's not necessary. You're going to get bad press from time to time because those are your competitors. It's kind of like how Wendy's has those commercials out there about, like, Burger King. Their beef isn't fresh, never frozen. You do that. You attack the people above you when you're trying to get ahead. You use their name for clout. That's why the Wall Street Journal went after PewDiePie, because PewDiePie gets more views in a video than the Wall Street Journal gets in a month. And you cowed to these people. You should have told your advertisers, calm down. Yeah, look, there's some that definitely the videos had to go. You had fucking beheading videos on here. Yeah, clean those up. There's nothing wrong with that. That's criminal activity. Get it off the fucking site. And we're not talking that this was part of a news program. People were actually uploading videos of them doing this. Yeah, get that off the site. But if it's somebody, like, go back to that teen in Chicago who got kidnapped by the 4 black folks and they beat the fuck out of him. Every video made about that, where any of that video footage was shown, except news videos, technical news, got demonetized. They got put behind paywall or 18 plus walls in some cases. Dragon Mage, thank you. That's because YouTube is trying to appease the mainstream media so that they don't get hit pieces written about them. Well, that's the point. That's the point. They don't have to worry about the mainstream media. The mainstream media is dying. Look, I've watched CBS and ABC during this election cycle. You know where I've watched them? On YouTube. I don't fucking watch TV. The only time I watch TV is if I go upstairs and my wife happens to be watching it. I've caught a couple of brief glimpses. My wife watches, I think it's CBS this morning, with Gayle King. Is that the one she's on? I don't even fucking know. But a couple of those. I don't seek it out. You gotta stop trying to suck up to your competitors. The Wall Street Journal is a competitor of YouTube. It's a media outlet trying to get clicks from YouTube. But then she lets these people onto the platform and allows them to talk about things we're not allowed to. So much for broadcast yourself, right? And look, I don't mind them being allowed to talk about this stuff, but if you're going to let them be monetized for it, all of us should be. It should go hand in hand. If I get demonetized for a certain kind of joke, Jimmy Fallon should get in trouble for that. Or what's his name? Who's that smug prick? Oh, fuck. I can see his face and I can't think of his name. There's so many to choose from. How about we'll just go with Jimmy Kimmel? He's not the one I was thinking of, but Jimmy Kimmel. Why is he allowed to make jokes that I'm not? Well, that's scripted content, you see. All of my shit is scripted. Stop it. Dragon Mage, thank you so much. Yes, but Susan doesn't realize that. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to explain it to her. I've tried several times. It doesn't seem to be working yet. Colbert, Lucifer, you got it just by smug prick. Well played. Yes, that smug prick. Now, John Oliver, who was mentioned next, is a smug prick as well. But I find him less annoying than Colbert. And maybe it's because Oliver can at least make a funny... John Oliver actually reminds me of old school... I don't want to necessarily say nighttime hosts, but yeah, I guess nighttime TV hosts. Where you can tell they have a definite liberal bias, but at least they made funny jokes. Very much of the way Jon Stewart was over on Daily Show. The Daily Show had a lot of funny jokes in it, even if I didn't agree with its political leanings. And Oliver has obviously hired several of the staff from the Daily Show when he left, and gotten good comedians to help him write jokes. Samantha Bee and Colbert haven't exactly done that. They are calling them trite would be a compliment at this point. Have you been picking cotton after cooking bratwurst on the barbecue, Monk? Dana, are you making fun of the words I use sometimes? John Oliver can get banged in the ass too. I hate that. Well, no, not yeah, I get it. I understand people who don't like him. Look, John Oliver is a lying shitbag. He really is. But if you're gonna lie, at least make it funny. That's why I used to watch The Daily Show, even though I didn't agree with the politics. I started watching The Daily Show because of Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart, when he first went over there, he was, just a comedian, and his comedy was great. His stand-up was amazing. And then he gets over there and you see his clear bias. And so immediately I'm like, oh shit. And but it was still funny. John's monologues, especially, they were great, just fucking amazing. Full of nonsense, but still funny. This is Kyle. Thank you. Remember when John Oliver told Trump to run for office? Yes, he did. He begged him, or dare. Was it a dare or a beg? I can't remember which. Yeah, that was old John. Anyway, so Susan, stop sucking up to the people who want to see you out of business, sweetheart. They want to take over your business. You get this, right? You think NBC wouldn't love to get one of their executives into your position? And right now you're safe because you've increased revenue, which is what you were supposed to do. But how long do you think that? See, once you increase revenue and make it profitable, because that was her mandate, make YouTube profitable, which she's done. After that, it's make it more profitable, and eventually your job will be on the line. And as you run off your core audience, your actual users who you're trying to force basically cable news on, who do you think they're going to come for, Susan? Who do you think they're going to come for? You think they're going to come for me? Oh, by then you'll have already silenced people like me. Oh, I'm sorry, not silenced. Made it so we're irrelevant in the grand scheme. And look, by YouTube numbers, I am irrelevant, but that's all right. You're going to make it so people can't make a living on here unless they work for one of the alphabet soup. And I don't mean the LGBT alphabet. I mean that's what they used to call the networks, the alphabet networks. I just throw soup on there because I think it's funny. One of the alphabet networks, you're trying to turn YouTube into that, and that's not what it was, honey. It's not. As much as I find makeup bloggers boring as fuck, you couldn't run a whole network television show of them. Over here, they do wonderful. They do wonderful. I think YouTube works the best because it's basically reality TV. Almost all of it is life unscripted, that line. Who is that a tagline from? Is that Lifetime or I forget which one? But life unscripted is people getting onto YouTube doing silly shit, random shit, stuff that used to be on PBS. Well, not PBS, whatever your public broadcasting stations were, like Channel 99 out of Elmont College in Vermont, some shit like that, where you pay them $10 and they let you go sit in front of a backdrop for half an hour and talk. Public access is what I meant to say. Excuse me. And it's what it is. And it's in a way that people get to actually interact with the folks. And so it builds. And that's what made YouTube. And you're at the point now, you're demonetizing people for simply saying coronavirus. because you're afraid that an ad is going to play on a video where they talk about coronavirus and you're not going to like what they say about it. And then you're going to end up in a headline somewhere. YouTube shows ads on conspiratorial videos. You need to learn to let what works work. And what worked, look, guys, let's be honest. You know what made YouTube profitable? Super chat. You guys, that's what did it. Anyhow, so how are you guys doing today? I cannot believe that you were not allowed to talk about coronavirus. Now, look, if you want to watch a video and say, okay, this guy's spreading misinformation about it, cool. You want to say this is a little conspiratorial, fine. By all means, be like, yeah, we're not going to let it. But when you're talking about people merely mentioning the virus so they can say why a major trade show was shut down, then you've gone a little too far. You've turned into, morons. This is the platform that censors animals in chat, after all. That's right. Hey, camel and monkey. And are there other animals that have been hit? Me and camel are the only ones I know of. I wonder if there's anything else you can't say these days. Oh, God. But YouTube did finally look into that after telling me that it wasn't a problem. And going, oh, well, we don't really see a problem. I'll go fuck off. Oh, yeah, I wonder if you're allowed to talk about Corona beer, Anthony. What if your channel is dedicated right now just to pointing out the actual truths of coronavirus and beating down either the conspiracy theories or at least going, look, this is what's being said, but we don't know that, guys. Don't take that with a grain of salt because we don't know. You know, what if you have one that's out there trying to preach the truth about it? And you're like, sorry, you said that word. You said that word. These fucking people, man. They get so touchy. Anyhow, got into an argument with a moron. Who's surprised by that? Give me a 1 if you're surprised. I got into an argument with a moron. I don't know if I really want to wade into this, but I kind of do. The Republican Party's in a weird kind of infant state of rebellion. You have the America Firsters, you know. You guys know these people, the Nick Fuentes brand of the Nick Fuentes. I love Nick Fuentes because he's like, I know what true conservatism is. I'm 13 and my mommy told me so. So cute when his mom puts on that suit on him. He looks like a grown-up. America First Political Action Conference was the other day, and they did it right against the Conservative Political Action Conference. CPAC is the big Republican one, and AFPAC. That sounds so stupid. AFPAC. I feel like there should be a duck saying it. AFPAC. They had their competing conference with like 14 people. I want to be nice. From reports, I haven't seen the crowds myself. 100 or so people showed up to AFPAC. But one of the speakers at AFPAC was Michelle Malkin. Michelle Malkin, who's been disowned by most conservative outlets because she came out in defense of Nick Fuentes. And a lot of people see Fuentes as a anti-Semite, possibly a racist, possibly, I'm not saying for sure, just don't, possibly. But you have this little group, this Bernie Sanders-esque group of Republicans. They are the real Republicans. They're the radical Republicans, you guys. And they care about immigration, dual citizenship to between America and Israel, and butt fucking. These are their big main platforms that they're against. And your run-of-the-mill conservatives right now, Republicans, not necessarily conservatives, but Republicans, they care about stopping abortion and lower taxes. And you have this little infighting that's starting, and they're beating against it. Anyway, the reason this all comes up is because Michelle Malkin was there, and she brought up dual loyalty. She brought up questioning the number of people who may have died in the Holocaust. Don't worry, she didn't say Holocaust, you guys. Who may have died during World War II is what she said. And so there's a lot of idiots out there like, we should cancel her. Don't cancel her. If you disagree with her, argue, you fucking pussy. She's a little Asian girl. She's not going to beat you up. Just argue with her. If make a better argument, yeah, puss. Sorry, I had to get that out of my chest, but still. So you have this contingent that wants to cancel Michelle Malkin. And Mike Cernovich, fucking disgusting shitbag that he is. Now, Mike occasionally says things that are right. And a lot of times he just tries to jump on bandwagons that other Mike's like really upset that nobody's talking about him because he likes to be the story, you guys. He really does. This is a journalist, I'm using air quotes, who cut his teeth on Gamergate. And isn't he like a lawyer? I can't remember exactly. He's just a douchebag. But he said this: Ben Shapiro literally advocated for the ethnic genocide of Palestinians. Don't try to lie. He did. It's all on record, which to me is whatever. Palestinian rights isn't my bag. But maybe Shapiro fanboys should sit out the cancel culture hate mobs regarding Michelle Malkin. No, the reason they should sit out the cancel culture hate mobs is because cancel culture is fucking retarded. If you don't like their argument, make a better one. It's really that easy. Really that easy. But it's funny that he brought this up because Shapiro at the time wasn't involved in this. He's just sitting back doing his own thing. But the America Firsters really hate Ben because he threw a little bit of shade at Toddler Nick there. And Toddler Nick, you have to fight me now. And Ben was like, fuck you, kid. I'm not paying any attention to you. I've given you all the attention I'm going to. So America Firsters hate him. So he had to invoke Ben. But I want to read that again. Ben Shapiro literally advocated for the ethnic genocide of Palestinians. No, he literally did not. Now, he may have literally argued for ethnic genocide, or sorry, ethnic, cleansing, ethnic cleansing. He did not advocate ethnic genocide. And there is a difference. Genocide is the killing of people, the extermination of them. Cleansing just means you're getting them the fuck out. You know that ethno state some of you guys are so fond of? That would be ethnic cleansing, getting rid of the people. Now, it could be by killing them, but it's also by relocating them, moving them to another country, getting them through your borders. I'm not advocating either of these things, but an asshole got offended at me because I pointed out that what Ben said wasn't about genocide. Ben was literally talking about moving Palestinians out of Jewish lands and said that was the only way you could bring peace over there. He's probably not wrong. The only other that region has been at biblical war forever, for more than 1,000 years, you guys. Just nothing but war over who owns Jerusalem, for fuck's sake. That's what these fuckers fight over. And we got it down to now where we're talking, look, it's just about whether or not they have housing. Stop it. This is the same old Muslim versus Jews that's been going on for 1,400 fucking years. How do you have them live together? I think the best way to make them live together is to do it real world style. We threw 6 Jews and 6 Muslims into a house together, and we're going to record it so you can watch and laugh what happens. That show would be the bomb, you guys. But that was a bad joke. God, that was a bad joke. Anyway, I simply pointed out that Ben did not actually advocate genocide. And this guy, yes, he did. And like, no, he didn't. And the guy got offended because I was using the definition of genocide because Mike said literally advocated for the ethnic genocide. Literally. I blame Leafy for this. I really do. Leafy is here more than any person in my lifetime destroyed the meaning of the word literally. He literally said it far more than he should have. He literally said it when it literally didn't apply. And a whole group of online idiots, I think, got poisoned by that. They don't know what literal means anymore. Literal means it actually fucking happened. It means it's real, you dumbass. You can't say somebody literally advocated for genocide when they literally did not. I mean, you can, but you're going to look like a fucking literal moron. Caramon says, who is Leafy? Oh, Leafy. The chinless wonder of attacking children. He was great. His videos were crap. His videos were so bad, but they were intoxicating. I couldn't stop watching. He made really bad Leafy is here, Caramon. Check him out. I think his videos still may be around somewhere, or at least some mirrors. But yeah, this motherfucker said literally all the time. He would literally say literally. You just broke my brain. But anyway, literal has a meaning. I'm not standing up for Ben. I'm not accusing Michelle of anything bad. I'm just saying that your use of literal and genocide don't go together. And that's not what literally happened, you fucknut. But yeah, this is the right, man. They're doing their best to tear themselves apart. Spencer didn't do it bad enough with the with his group. Ex-Bubba Hotep, thank you. They literally changed the definition of literally to mean figuratively. That is true. That is true. Which is also absolutely wrong. I hate that common use changes the definition. No, morons do. We should be correcting people. See, what happens is these people hear the term, like we say, that is literal bullshit. That makes it sound, oh my God, that makes it sound like that is some serious bullshit, which is what you probably should have said. Unless you're pointing to a pile of bull's shit, nothing is literal bullshit. See what I'm saying? But no, Bubba, I remember didn't we read a story about that on Lords of the Night about how they changed the definition? Cryptic, thank you. Literally getting tired of this literal bullshit. I feel you. But it's what pays the bills. If it wasn't for literal bullshit, what would I pay my bills with? I'd have to start a lemonade stand, you guys. And it's too cold in Michigan for a lemonade stand right now. Keeper Dam says, I know they're trying to change the definition of racism. They've actually been trying the whole privilege plus power thing with racism. Didn't that come from it's either the 70s or 80s, the book that nonsense came out of, and it just started getting taught at colleges and more frequently. Same with white fragility. That's a newer one, but it's been around for a while. I'm trying to remember the other one. A lot of the stuff we're seeing right now out of colleges where they're changing definitions of racism, sexism, harassment, rape, all of this stuff comes from the late 70s, early 80s. And some of it actually goes back to the 60s. But still, call it liberal bullshit. More apt anyway. Yeah, well, we'll get to that shit too. I was going to tell you guys not to forget something I hadn't told you. Don't forget, we're going to be watching a AOC video here in just a little bit. She was on MSNBC with Fredo. I'm sorry. What's his real name? Chris Cuomo. I've called him Fredo so much now, I actually forgot his fucking name for a minute. That wasn't a thing where, well, Monkey's horrible with names. It's like, no, I've called him that too much. Oops. Yeah, there's a great video with her on there explaining what happened on Super Tuesday. Speaking of what happened on Super Tuesday, I woke up and there was some moron. I got distracted by a moron. Now, I know that happens a lot, you guys. I know that's not news, but this moron, he said something. I saw a tweet and it was, okay, for the love of fuck, people, when you take a screenshot of somebody's tweet, still link the goddamn tweet when you retweet it. I'm tired of having to go look these people up. I should be able to just click, you motherfuckers. Anyway, so what's his name? Brian something. Brian. Where's my search history? Brian. Why is it not in here? Nope. Okay, maybe that wasn't his name. Oh, no, right there. Brian Fallon. That's his name. He said something really fucking stupid. Oh, he was talking about, that's what it was. Somebody put up two pictures of tweets he did a week apart. The one from when Trump said that Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Sonia Sotomayor should recuse themselves from his cases because they're liberal. This guy wrote up there, he's attacking them for being political. And then after Schumer's comments yesterday attacking Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, he's like, Senator Schumer was right. They've been political for too long. And so we're like, haha. But so I go over to check this asshole out, and he has a link. He has a link to, it was let me find it again. Where'd it go? Wait, is it gone already? Oh, there it is. Since Senator Booker left the race, his former campaign manager at ASDem has let it loose on Twitter, and he's one of the most thoughtful commentators on the state of the race. He's definitely worth your follow. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. I'm curious. Let me go see what he has to say. And there ended any interest I had in Brian anymore, because who cares? He's part of Demand Action, which used to be Mom's Demand Action. What is he, the executive director or some shit like that? What is he? Hang on. Yeah, executive director of Demand Justice, not Demand Action. Sorry, Demand Action. Justice. Fuck. Anyway, so I don't care about Brian anymore. He's just some little stupid political hack that nobody cares about. He's got 171,000 followers, which that disturbs me. You guys know my followers have been stuck at about 5,700 for 2 years. Seriously. The number doesn't move very much, and it stays in that range. Are you kidding me? How does this dickhead have... Anyway. I get distracted so easily. I went over and I was looking at this. This is Cory Booker's campaign manager. And if there's anybody you probably should not listen to when it comes to what's happening in this race, it's probably Cory Booker's campaign manager. Kamala Harris's campaign manager might be right up there with you. Beto's campaign manager. You know, all of these people who left the fucking race most before there was even a fucking vote. You probably shouldn't listen to them, especially when you have somebody like Booker or Harris. Beto, to a lesser extent, he had but these are people with established names in political circles. He's not somebody you should probably listen to. So I went over there and I was looking around, and yeah, he's not very bright. He's not, and I don't mean that in a mean way. He doesn't seem like a stupid guy, but partisanship really affects him. And one of the things I like, and I know this is going to probably upset some people, but one of the things I like about James Carville is no matter what he thinks partisan-wise, when it comes to assessing the races, he tries to look at it honestly. That doesn't mean I always agree with what he says, but James Carville's never going to be the one out there going, Democrats are going to win because Democrats. He will look at it and go, ooh, this looks bad. He's even said already this cycle now that, yeah, you guys are giving this to Trump. You guys are giving this to Trump. He's going to win. This is James Carville, the architect of the Clinton wins. The Bill Clinton wins because, Hillary didn't do very well. Yeah, exactly. Skev says he's logical, and Prospero says an asshole, but logical. Yes, exactly. He's an asshole. And like I said, I don't always agree with him, but I like what he does. And Skev just said he's fascinated in the process. So am I. This is what I talk about when I say, there's my politics. What I believe is what I call policy. Politics is the game that the candidates go through to be the one who gets to set policy. So I have my own version of what policy should be. but I fucking love politics. I like the game of it. I like watching it. And these people, like this guy, Cory Booker's campaign manager, they're true believers. And that's probably a good thing for a campaign manager. I still think you want a realist in there. You want them to believe in your message, but you want a realist in there. Whoever was advising Cory should have been like, Cory, you need to get out there. You need to be more charismatic. He's a charismatic guy that never came through. Not even on a fucking debate stage, man. How the fuck do you fuck that up? Kamala, you might want to have her, work with somebody to get that smug shit-eating grin off of her face. Because there was that, and that's just like, oh. But anyway, so I'm telling you all of this to go to a long, long story just to point out how smart I am. And I realize that that's not a little self-serving. That's not something you're supposed to do. It's a little self-serving. We're not supposed to talk about how smart we are. Skep says, I understand. God help me. I love it too. Skep, dude. Skep, what are you up to? You want to come hang out, bud? If you can. You and I haven't got to talk, just us. And I don't think it's ever just been you and I. But anyway. This is something that Cory's campaign manager agreed with. It's not his tweet. He'd actually retweeted it with "Amen, me too" or something like that. But this guy John Hagner said tonight is not what anyone expected last week, which should make everyone a lot more humble about predicting what will happen next week. I want to ask you guys, do you remember pretty much every time I've ever started talking about what's going to happen in the race? Preface it. I tell you, as long as things stay the same, or I'll say, as things are now. And I don't do that just to cover my ass. I do that because, especially in an election like this one, where we have had so many candidates, we still have far too many actually, but we have so many candidates, things can change so rapidly. For instance, 2 major candidates could drop out of the race that predicting it is difficult. It's not just hedging your bets. This isn't a Chris Cillizza, somebody's going to win kind of thing. It's not that. You have to look at everything that's happening and everything that could happen. And this is another thing that Shuan Head says this a lot, and I haven't found the source for it. Maybe I'll reach out to her and see if she can give me one. But she said, she's surprised Amy and Pete voters. They had listed, that their second choice was Bernie. The majority of them. Like, that makes no sense. It makes no sense for that to be their second choice. I was wrong about when Amy and Pete would drop out, but I was absolutely right about what would happen once they did, because it doesn't take a genius for that. Their policies are more in the know, or more in the know. Is that the way I want to say it? More in line with Biden than they ever were with Sanders. So, of course, when they leave the race, the majority of their supporters are going to go to Joe, especially when you're getting to a time where it's like, okay, we got to shit or get off the pot. We're going to end up at this brokered convention everybody's so worried about, which is still, the brokered convention is still just going to come down to super delegates picking Joe. Unless something goes horribly wrong with Joe. See, I just have to do it then too. Unless Joe makes some horrific gaffe, something just absolutely ridiculous, like goes out there and starts preaching against Jews and black people, Joe's going to be the nominee. He's likely going to win a majority anyway, so he'll be fine. They won't have to go to a brokered convention. But yeah, I mean, to win, you need, 1,991 delegates. Right now, Joe's just over, well, last I saw, and this was with still a couple of states not done yet, but Joe was at 400 and some. He was 100 ahead of Biden, he was 100 ahead of himself. Yeah. I just had a Biden moment talking about Biden. He's 100 ahead of Sanders. There's still plenty of room. What do we got? 30. I did the math on this the other day. 32 states left. They're much smaller states, but he could still win the majority, and we'll see what happens. But the idea that you couldn't predict that Amy and Pete's votes were going to go to Biden says you shouldn't be looking at politics and guessing anyway. Seriously. If you couldn't have predicted that those votes would go to that man, you're an idiot. And it's going to get even worse for all those people who think, oh, well, now it's going to be a lot easier for Bernie, or Biden is going to get the Bloomberg voters. And in all of the states Joe won, all that does is pushes his wins much higher. He would have still lost in the states that Bloomberg came in second to Bernie, because it wasn't enough to overcome. Bernie just had, like, California. Bernie just, of course they love him. It's fucking California. But yeah, they just blew it up. Boom. In that state, Biden and Bloomberg together, yeah, they couldn't overcome him. But in all the states going forward, Biden just became the machine to beat, and Bernie doesn't have. We should be careful predicting the future. Why? It's actually pretty simple now. The more people that drop out, the easier it gets. Warren and Tulsi dropping out, they could both drop out tomorrow. It's not going to change this race. Most it'll do is maybe give Biden another delegate or two in a state, or give Bernie a delegate or two in a state he was going to lose anyway. Skep, my friend, how are you? Skep? Do I have my volume up? Yeah, I do. Okay. Skep, if you're there, I can't hear you yet, but we'll get to him in just a moment.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. How you doing, man?
It's good to hear your voice. I was accidentally grabbed my mic, and it's got one of those mute buttons on it, and I boomered it. Sorry about that.
No, dude. Jack does it every day. It's okay. How you been? You and I have never talked on this show.
Do you know what? One time, a long time ago, you invited me on at like 2:00 in the morning. Neither one of us could sleep. And you did have me on for about 30 minutes. Long time ago. Because I remember I got Chris McCaskill's name wrong, and you corrected me. I don't know why that sticks in my memory, but...
because I corrected you on a name, that should make you feel horrible about yourself. In perpetuity.
Yeah, but we get to be in my case much more an amateur political commentator during one of the most interesting Democratic races in my lifetime. And
sure, I wish I would have been doing this back in the Republican one of 2016.
Absolutely,
it's the only thing comparable
in recent history. I absolutely agree. You have to really go back to Ross Perot's chaotic run that eventually kept George H.W. Bush from being reelected to find something as interesting as this.
That's the 92 campaign for you. We got to give them dates, Skep, because they're a lot of young people in here.
That was back last century. So
yes, that's true.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
No, but see, even in that one, that was still only a 3-man race, and it was a Republican, a Democrat, and an independent. When you're talking about the primary themselves,
yes,
I actually went back and did this. I went through and looked. For the Democrats in my lifetime, until this race, they never had more than 5.
Right.
And even in those ones where they had 5, 3 of them pretty much immediately dropped, like after Iowa or New Hampshire. After the first 2 races, they're just gone.
Right.
So you pretty much had a 2-man race, or 1 man, 1 woman, Hillary, all the way through until and this one, so many people jumped in. It's been a lot of fun for me as somebody who likes politics.
Absolutely. But I think the fight for the soul is really between the far left, the true socialism of Bernie Sanders, and the old time Democratic political establishment that I think Biden represents. Mm-hmm. Biden has said a lot of left sounding things, but I don't believe any of those things are operative after they leave his mouth. He will do what is politically expedient to get elected. Yes. Bernie is a true believer, man. He's Leninist to the core. He really believes that he wants an American revolution. He wants
Hold that
a
thought.
real redistribution. Yeah.
Because I do want to talk about that, but I want to get this before it pops out of the chat. Well, first, Bubba Hotep, thank you so much. Wait, people born after Y2K can vote for the president this year? Shit, we are fucked. Yeah, it's the year, man. But Faithless in chat said the Republican candidates were nowhere near as much of a dumpster fire collection of losers. I would partially agree. Jeb was horrible.
Yeah, I was going to say you have some losers in there, so you have to call those out.
But
Jeb, low energy Jeb.
What I was talking about there isn't so much, the politics of this many people vying for that one spot. When we're not even talking about the general yet, we're just talking about I want to be your contender. Even if these were all great liberal candidates, this would be fun for me.
Yes, but you have such a contrast between where they stand. I mean, Bernie really wants to change what America looks like. Biden wants to improve the America that's already there and not really do a fundamental change. I really do think that's a stark contrast between the two of them.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk about. And people asked us very early on, if you had to have one of these, who would you pick? And I said Joe, for exactly the reason you're talking about right there.
Yes.
Joe Biden, if you had to have one of these guys, he's the guy you want. Because, real quick, I'm hearing a thumping on your mic, but
oh, it's a dog. I'm babysitting a dog for my stepdaughter, and the dog was crawling around it had a paw on the table. It's complicated. Anyway, I've got it under control now.
Bernie, like you said, Bernie's a true believer. He wants to burn it down and rebuild it communist style. Yeah. Joe would want to be, he'd be legacy, or I want to be reelected. He said he wouldn't run if he's bullshit, Joe. But he wouldn't rerun. He's the one least likely to make major changes. So he would be the one you want.
No, I agree with you. I think he would be an old style Democrat patronage, Paul, handing out the political favors to friends and punishing enemies. Yeah, it would be pretty standard stuff. Welfare state, but not. It would not be, via the tax code and via new legislation remapping what the United States looks like, and that's really the vision that Bernie Sanders has. The Bernie
real quick. I gotta stop you. Nuts wants to know if you have a Streamlabs or something you like. Do you want her to share your Twitter handle or something?
Just the only shilling that I do is the microblogging site Twitter. I am Skeptic Alpha, SKEPTICALFA, because Randomer Cam was taken. It's a stupid name. I know it is, but anyway, I'm Skeptalk over there. This is on the display, easy to search, and tweets are usually repressed because I'm considered a bad person by Jack. But come and follow. I would love to have you join the conversation with me. Thank you for the
shit.
By the way,
you have almost 4 times more followers than you. Twitter, this is bullshit.
To gain followers, the only thing that I've done, I made it a goal to get to 50,000 followers. That's my goal before I die. And so in doing that, I realized I had to work at it like an 8-hour-a-day job. Now, I'm so sorry for the sidebar here, but
it's monkey in the morning is what we do.
Yeah, I come to work in the morning and I start working on Twitter. I begin tweeting. I talk about any and everything. I let my point of view out of there. I criticize or compliment others' points of view, try and advance the conversation and be as interesting as I can to as many people as I can, attracting followers and so forth. And I have about 2/3 conservative followers and 1/3, I would say, progressive or libertarian followers, kind of a mishmash. Like yesterday, though, for example, funny Twitter story. I let out a tweet saying that I felt like the Supreme Court, considering the requirement for doctors to have admitting privileges at a nearby hospital, that if that requirement was in place for other surgical procedures that are normally done inside a clinic, for example, a vasectomy, If that was in place for them, then it might be appropriate to require that. If it's not, it's not. I lost 250 followers in 2 hours.
Damn.
Yeah. And you're pro-abortion, you bastard. So whatever.
Faithless says, let out a tweet that sounds like a small fart. It kind of is if you're doing it right.
Yeah.
Depending on the kind of account you have.
Here's what I love about Twitter. So since you bring that up, I love the fact that it forces you to be elegant and concise. It does not reward padded writing.
That's the problem. I'm concise. I'm just not eloquent about it.
Yeah. Not necessarily eloquent, but elegant. In other words, being able to express a lot of meaning in not very many words, and that requires a little bit of thought. And in doing that thought before you let out the tweet, ideally, you let out quality tweets. Now, unfortunately, they let anybody on Twitter, and the trolls outnumber the serious microbloggers at least 1,000 to 1. So what are you going to do? And that leads people to say Twitter's cancer and so forth. And
I love Twitter.
I think that's I agree. It's absolutely, it's heaven as far as I'm concerned. So
let me ask you something.
Yeah.
I have a question. I don't, if you had something else to say there, say it now, because I'm about to change.
No. Change on.
Sorry, in chat, I just read Prospero says you are elegant in that regard, Ranting Monkey. And I read it as you are elegant in that retard.
And it's something Prospero might well say too.
Cryptic, thank you so much. Who says I love thoughts. I definitely find they have their place. And I'm hearing myself. Whoa.
Not from me.
God damn it. Hang on.
Oh yeah, I hear it. Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
There we go. No, it was me. I forgot to close a fucking window. It's so distracting. Hearing your own fucking voice while you're trying to speak. Anyway, Ginger Snap says, squirrel. Thank you so much. And over on the Streamlabs, Mage, who says, Dragon Mage says, the left needs to learn you can't choose what you are. You can only choose who you are. That is a fair point too. And thank you all for the donations right in a row there. But my question for you, Skeptop.
Yeah.
And I thought about this last night when we read this dumbass article about, I will never forget what happened to Elizabeth Warren. There's a lot of people out there saying that Elizabeth Warren stole votes from Bernie.
Oh.
Isn't it just as fair to say that Bernie stole votes from Warren?
Well, yes. I mean, she does. She is higher on the victim totem pole than Bernie by being the fact she's a woman and she's a First People woman, Cherokee, I believe, or at least so she claimed to Harvard. But yeah, all kidding aside, look, there are a certain number. She's just as left and just as radical as Bernie. She wants to slip it by the American people, and I think that's why he's getting more votes than she is, because at the bottom of it all, the American people, I think, can smell that level of dishonesty. And say what you want about Bernie, he's sincere. He truly believes, what he says. Elizabeth Warren is capable of the big lie. She's done it again and again. It's characterized her career throughout her career. So, and I think people pick up on that. So, in terms of the way the far left vote was split between the two of them, I think that was just a natural preference. And I think most of the votes that she got, if Elizabeth Warren were a man, she wouldn't even, we wouldn't be talking about her. I mean, we wouldn't be talking about the candidate.
Is that true? Shroom said Warren just dropped out. She did. Warren has dropped out, you guys.
I know that she was having a meeting with her advisor this morning.
Yes.
To discuss the way forward, whatever, which tells me that she was probably horse trading to see what kind of a cabinet position she could get in the Biden administration. That's the only thing I can think. Although why you would give up being a senator to be in the cabinet, I'm not certain what it would be.
I don't think her dropping out would help Biden.
Not at all. It would help Bernie.
Exactly.
It's going to help Bernie. Yeah. And, but I think she probably realizes that in a head-to-head with Bernie, what's going to happen if you have a contested convention, and this is kind of an interesting thing. I don't know if you wanted to talk about this, but the Democrat convention could be very interesting, because if it is a contested or an unsettled convention, and delegates are released after the first vote, we could have a complete surprise as a candidate. It might not be Bernie or Biden, and I think Elizabeth Warren thinks she might be there to catch the brass ring.
I thought about that earlier because I saw somebody talking about Hillary. I'm like, the only way Hillary gets it is, oh my, that could happen. Because once it goes brokered convention, delegates are released from any vote that they have to make.
Hill Dog becomes a possibility. Yeah,
she really does.
Yep. So they can pretty much do what they want, and the super delegates, those are the old party line guys. There are very few of those people who are going to vote for Bernie. And in my opinion, those people have long histories with the political party, and they owe people like Biden and Elizabeth Warren favors, and Bernie has not been a part of that part of the machine.
Oh no, and he talks shit about him, even though he votes with him all the fucking time. He's he's a despicable little shit.
He really is. He's a disgusting human being.
Going back, I think if Hillary had not done what she did to Bernie, and I've said this, I think 4 or 5 times now on air, so shut up, people. Yes, I'm repeating myself. If they would have just been fair with Bernie in 2016, Bernie goes away. They turned him into a mythological character. This creature the Democrats had to cheat.
Yes,
and so he comes back for his real turn at it. If they just let him lose as he was going to the first, they were so worried that she was going to get Baracked again.
Yes.
Because for those of you who don't know, 2008 was supposed to be her turn.
That's exactly right.
It was supposed to be. That was they kept saying it, her turn.
Let me tell the story, a quick story about the 2008. Because
before you do, I do want to say in the Elizabeth Warren announcement at 11 o'clock, she's supposed to be getting with her staff to announce this.
All right.
And it is unsure. They're unsure whether or not she's decided to endorse somebody. Now that will be interesting. Anyway,
that will be interesting. In 2008, I registered as a Democrat. Now, I'm as far away from a Democrat as I'm a conservatarian, for lack of a better term. But I wanted to make sure that Barack Obama got the nomination, because he would lose. There's no way Barack Obama is going to win the election. I had it all figured out, ladies and gentlemen. I personally am responsible for Barack Obama's 2 terms in office.
Good job, Step.
Yeah, it does. And anyway, at the big at the caucus, I was talking with another ward chairman, and she said, "Well, I really think it's Hillary's turn." And I said, "You know what? Her husband cheated on her multiple times, and she didn't leave him. I don't believe she has the intelligence to be president." And I said that in front of about 50 people, and there was a collective gasp.
Well, I just gasped because
I had 0 fucks to give. I really truly did.
Maybe it's her turn meant for Bill to finally bang her.
I suspect that has not been interesting to him for a while. Given,
I don't think it ever was. I really don't.
Yeah.
But
she was never the looker. That's for sure.
Obama was whoever won that election for the DNC. It was going to be them. Just because. Historically speaking, we do that. 8 years of one, 8 years of another. There's a few exceptions. We had Bush after Reagan, and they probably would have won 16 years if it wasn't for Perot.
Well, yeah, I mean, but Bush was just Reagan continued. At least the initial, the first election of Bush was Reagan continued. The second one, they realized that this guy was a soft conservative. He was had some liberal leanings,
Sure.
progressive leanings that Reagan absolutely did not have. But the thing that he shared with Reagan was he was a big government conservative, and that's where I turn away from the Republican Party, because a big spending conservative makes me crazy. They generally
Well,
are foreign military adventurers, and that's a huge problem for me.
this is why, yes, Snubbert, that is true. Elizabeth did, or she's dropping 5 minutes. She's supposed to announce to her
All right.
staff. This has been my problem with Republicans all along. I don't join parties, and there's a reason for it, because I don't trust none of these little fuckers. I think they're all a bunch of goddamn liars, and they'll say what they can to get elected, and then they get into office, especially Republicans,
Yes.
and then be worried so much about their reelection that they don't want to get any bad press. Republicans, with the exception of, I believe, Obama, and a lot of that was Obamacare, Republicans increased the spending more than liberals do.
Absolutely. Look at George W. Bush. Look at what he did with the national debt. I mean, we are tens of trillions of dollars in debt right now, and you can lay almost all of it at his feet. People will say, well, Obama doubled the debt. That's true, but the reason he doubled the debt was mostly because of interest on the initial debt. He simply kept borrowing to pay off the debt instead of balancing the budget, or even running at a surplus to pay down the debt.
Clinton had him so close.
Yes, he really did.
Close. We were within, I believe it's like $1 million or something. Like, there was never a balanced budget. Just pointing that out again.
Yes,
but so close. And even if you'd kept it there,
yes,
it wouldn't have
be so far. We'd be so far ahead of where we are now. Now we're, very over leveraged, where we've done too much borrowing, and eventually, in the long term, Pache, despite what Paul Krugman says,
I hate that little shit.
He was the evil demon whispering in Obama's ear, saying that the debt doesn't matter. It's just a figure on a piece of paper. It's mythical.
Which, by the way, that little motherfucker during Bush's term said the exact opposite.
Right. Oh yeah, he's an absolute political whore.
He's a partisan hag.
Yes, exactly. So with a Nobel Prize, which it just it just devalues the
Nobel has no fucking credibility anymore.
Yeah, if it's not in physics or chemistry, even medicine has become political. So, screw it off. Yeah, I've had it with them. So, at any rate, so what do you think is going to be the upshot of Lizzie dropping out? What what do you think she will say? Do you think she might say anything inflammatory on the way out?
I think it's Elizabeth Warren. She's going to say something inflammatory.
Yes,
whether whether she does it right now or she does it a couple of days with a statement or something.
Yeah,
I love you.
I actually think that Elizabeth Warren is playing a longer game than anybody thinks. She's thinking about 2024. That's when she is going to do this again. And I think she's made a huge miscalculation, because there's going to be fresher, more interesting faces, and she will be considered an old hack by then. She'll be an also-ran then. But I think she thinks that she's being very clever, that's her best option is to bide her time and play the long game and get some political chits right now.
I think when she came into this race, because at the time, when she decided to run, I don't remember if he had already announced or not, but when she decided to run, nobody was really sure if Bernie was definitely going to do it again, because he had been a little wishy-washy at times. And she's didn't run. How do I want to say this? This wasn't the big fuck you to Bernie that it might look like. This, I think this was her real shot. And I think you're right. She absolutely miscalculated because of Bernie, and she tried to out Bernie. And I don't think she actually believes a lot of what she said. She she latched on to things that were popular that Bernie said, thinking that they would work for her too. Like you said earlier, Bernie is a true believer. She's a political hack. I think she got into the race absolutely expecting that she, as the woman, would get all of that woman support that pretty much went out the window after 2018. Get all of this woman support, plus all of the Bernie bros, plus all of the we need Medicare for all, and that would elevate her above everyone else. And when it became clear that it didn't, I think she's just a woman scorn. This is a fuck you to all of them at that point. After she had her crash and burn back in was it late October, with the inability to just answer a simple fucking question, 3 debates in a row. And then the press actually finally started, hey, are you going to answer this? Even the press got fucking sick of it. Even the press got fucking sick of you not being able to say yes or no. And this wasn't a case of the press going after her and tearing her down, because there's so many other things they could have went after her for. They still have never gone after her for her fucking lie about being Indian. They've left that alone. So, I just lost my thought. Oh, all they did was say she's not answering this question. And that was enough for the electorate to go, yeah, fuck this bitch. They didn't go after her hard. There's so many things they could have gone after her worse on. She should be doing it right now. I don't know if she'll be petty enough to do it in her, announcement of leaving, to go after him or claim sexism. I could see her making a pass at sexism. I would expect her to still throw her support behind Bernie, because if she is planning a 2024 run, she's got to have the Bernie bros on her side. But yeah, we'll see. Pow wow chow. Yes, indeed.
I hope that someday a woman can be president. Someday I hope a woman can, secure the nomination of this party and go forward. We've tried and we've been unsuccessful. The glass ceiling is still there. You might hear a little bit of that, but I don't think it'll be too harsh against Bernie, for exactly the reason that you say. She wants his constituency going forward. And the one thing I do think about Elizabeth Warren was she ended up looking insubstantial in terms of policy knowledge next to Amy Klobuchar.
Well, she hasn't been in the Senate that long, has she?
Don't get me to lying. Let's see.
Compared to some, who like,
oh no,
been there for 30 fucking years.
I think she's. See when she was elected to the Senate. She was a law school professor, and she did that for a long time. Assumed office. Senator, 2013 is when she came in.
See, and all you have to do is go, I'm not sure. Ask Crack Team. When did she come in?
Exactly. So Chad is amazing.
She's into what, her second term then?
Let's see, 2019. Yes, she's in her second term.
So yeah, she's only been there, and Klobuchar, I believe, is 2 or 3 terms in. So Warren, she's not a serious candidate, is the problem. And I get what that. I think that's where that came through with Klobuchar, where Klobuchar looks like she knows policy better.
Yes.
Warren she's an egotist.
Oh, yeah.
She's a narcissist.
She's been a law school professor. There's almost nothing more egotistical, maybe a med school professor, than a law school professor. Those people are the top of a heap of teeming egos. And, she comes out of that and says, yes, I will deign to become the senator from Massachusetts, and I will deign to become president. I really do think that's the way she thinks about things.
Yeah, and that's not a good way to go into it.
No.
Think what you want about any president. These are not stupid people. They may not have a working knowledge of everything, but none of them are dumb. And they tend to get, the dumb ones tend to get weeded out.
Yeah,
I'm
I might take the exception that proves the rule might be Beto O'Rourke. He really
well,
does
again, he
seem
wasn't president.
stupid. Yeah, right,
They get
exactly.
weeded out. We weed
Yeah.
them out in the
Yeah.
primaries.
Yeah, and I thought you meant candidates. Yes.
No, candidates are usually, a lot of candidates are dumb.
Yeah.
And we saw that Beto, I mean, the way that you got manhandled by Castro, for fuck's sake. Castro made you look like an idiot, and I'm not even talking about the whole Spanish thing.
No. Julian Castro is a mean little bastard. We know what he is down here in Texas, and he should have been no problem for somebody like Castro is nothing for a politician like Trump. Trump.
Oh God, no.
Trump makes people feel like it's strange that a billionaire could feel like one of them, but that's his gift. Is that you feel like he's speaking directly to you, and he's speaking to you absolutely honestly. That is an absolutely potent weapon.
Trump reminds me of him. He really does. And some people are going to get mad out here, but listen, I think Bill Clinton and Ronald Reagan had a baby and they named it Trump.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the political stylings of both of them, but he has the way to get out of trouble that Bill did.
Yes.
He's got that like you said, plus the everybody who's ever met Bill Clinton, if you read them talk about that meeting, they talk about how Bill Clinton made them feel like the only person in the room. Like he is just, there's nothing more important to him than you.
Yes.
And I hear the same thing about Trump. But what Trump also has is that, make America great again, and not being afraid to make fun of the press, not being afraid to tell the press to piss up a tree. That was a very Reagan-esque thing.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like this now, I'm not talking policy here, guys. This is one of those things that, as you mentioned in chat, you're a fan of this. When it comes to politics, for my lifetime, I mean, I was there for Reagan, but I was young. When Reagan left office, I was 13.
Yeah.
In my lifetime, the one that stands out, Bill Clinton was an amazing politician. You can think he's a shitty husband, a horrible policymaker, but when it came to politics, this motherfucker was amazing.
He was a master. Yeah, I agree with you. He
pulled off, it depends on what the definition of is.
Well, yeah, but and that was when he was pressed. Where he was really, truly amazing was when he would get up in front of the American people, and he made you feel like you were important to him, like he really cared about what you thought. People in describing Bill Clinton, I don't know if I ever told you about this. My first ex-wife went to elementary school with Bill Clinton. He was a star in elementary school. And I was actually married to her in Hope, Arkansas, at the First Methodist Church in Hope, Arkansas. That's absolutely true story. And she was born and raised in Hope, Arkansas. They knew the Clinton, his family, and went to the same elementary school. And he was a star. He had people clustered around him when he was in the 5th grade. That's something that it's some kind of innate thing that he has, to be an inch deep and a mile wide. He is. I don't think that anything that he ever said had any particular meaning after it achieved the immediate effect that it was designed for. I mean, he would go back on policy decisions and things that he said in an instant. Nobody ever seemed to call him on it. He had that Teflon ability to do whatever the hell he wanted, whatever was expedient at the time, and people continued to love him.
Real quick, in chat, Massive said Trump's father built buildings. He grew up around iron workers. What Trump has is not something you can teach.
Right.
What Clinton has is not something you can teach.
So true.
It is a natural charisma that you can work on that and try to make. Do you guys? I mean, do I sound friendly and happy and easily, or somebody who's easy to talk to when I'm on stream here?
Oh, very
I'm
much.
not like that in person. Not when I first meet you, and it's not that I'm aloof or even shy. It's that something in my brain. I have to get to know you a little bit before I can actually talk to you.
Mhm.
When I bring somebody on the stream, we'll talk and have a great time. I mean, but I have trouble doing that in real life.
Yeah.
Yes, Sinatra, Warren has dropped. I've gotten better at it, and part of it I think does come from when I was a shy kid. I'm a
Yeah.
people watcher, Skip. I like to watch people and pay attention to them and what they do. Now,
Mhm.
my youngest son. Oh my God, you gonna talk about? There's this great picture we have of him in preschool.
Yeah.
Maybe it was kindergarten. He is sitting at a table, painting or doing some kind of craft work, and there are 4 little girls sitting around him, just staring with their heads sitting in their hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everywhere he goes, it's like that.
Mhm.
And it's like, dude, you need to get into politics. Put dad in the White House, man.
Yeah.
Get dad in the White House. I want to steal some of their toilet paper for Al Bundy.
Can I ask what he does for a living?
He's in college. He's studying to become a he's dual majoring in education and English.
Education English. Okay. Yeah.
He wants to become an English teacher.
Yeah, I was going to say he'll be an English teacher, and he'll be one of these beloved English teachers that everybody remembers, probably.
Yep.
And that'll be great.
No, he just has this natural little charisma around him, and it's like, yeah, you can't teach that, guys. It's just an amazing thing when you come across it, and that's. I'm not saying he has it like Clinton level, because Clinton, seriously, I've never read so many people like when you meet him, you are the center of the universe.
Yes.
You're the only person in the room. Even if there's 1,000 people there, you are the only person he even notices is there. And he has this great thing, and they describe it really well in the book, Primary Colors. This handshake that Bill Clinton does. He'll shake your hand with one hand, and then he'll grab your elbow with the other.
Right.
And it's
I love that book, by the way.
Oh, it's such a great book. I've read that thing like 5 times.
I have too. I've read it 3 times. Oh, that's so funny.
The movie sucked.
I didn't even bother to see the movie, but
it was so bad. They cut out all of the great parts of it.
Yeah, yeah. I heard it was bad, and that they messed it up.
Primary Colors, guys. It is a fictionalized retelling of Bill Clinton's 1992 primary run.
Yeah, the stuff about New Hampshire was absolutely riveting.
You're gonna make me read it again, damn it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here thinking, looking around my study. Where's that thing? But I'm trying to talk and read through this thing on Warren. It looks like she didn't endorse another candidate. It's unclear whether Warren will endorse another Democratic candidate for president. I'm reading from the NBC site. I know it's just what came up. And this is why NBC is unbiased. The Massachusetts Democrat wowed crowds with her sharp intellect, her clear prognosis for complex problems, and her endless stream of policy blueprints to tackle them. After a long polling rise over summer that continued into the fall, it was clear Warren's message was catching on, and she rose to the front of the pack in some polls while avoiding conflict with rivals. Boy, you would almost think that she was still in and winning.
Wait, avoiding conflict with rivals?
Yeah.
CNN, this was CNN, right?
No, NBC.
Oh. I have CNN up because I want to see. Chat, can you guys pick out the problem with the title of this article? I'm just see if you can spot the problem. Cryptic, thank you. I like politics, but this level of interest borders on autistic levels between you two. Look, there's only a couple of things that I'm like this with: football and politics. Well, maybe movies, but yes, I mean, I'm a policy or a political nerd. Yes, nuts. Thank you. This headline: Biden and Sanders brace for one-on-one battle in new phase of Democratic race. Excuse me. I have a question. They forgot about Tulsi. Poor Tulsi. Nobody thinks about her.
You know, Tulsi could have been a stealth left candidate. If you listen to people talk about her, oh, she's a veteran, she's a moderate, and all that stuff. No, look at her policy prescriptions. She is almost as far left as Lizzie was.
Oh, sure.
She's
a Bernie bro.
Yes, she's a Bernie bro. Totally.
One of the reasons that the party has treated her like such shit is that she came out in 2016 in favor of Bernie.
Right.
She didn't back Miss Thang. Now she's not quite to Bernie levels, but yeah, she backed Bernie for fuck's sake.
I'm looking at the CNN politics. It says Elizabeth Warren is ending her presidential campaign. No, she's not. She's pushing it 4 years.
Ex Bubba Hotep says technically Tulsi is third out of how many? Thank you for the donation. I don't know if I thank Cryptic. Thank you, Cryptic, for calling us nerds. But what was it? 24, 26, something like that was the total number. Well over 20. I know that. It didn't get up to 30 though. 20-ish. Yeah, 20-ish. She's third now. Technically, she doesn't have the delegate count because she only has one delegate. But yeah, she is number 3 in the Democratic race. Who would have picked that?
Oh man,
I wouldn't have.
And Tulsi's going to be available there at the Democratic convention too.
Yeah, they won't give her any love at all.
No, there's too much.
They'll strip hers.
Yeah, exactly. They won't even make her a decent promise. She has disappointed the party faithful, and by trying to be different. And yeah, but seriously, do you have any sense of who might come out of a contested convention? Because I really do think that Bernie is going to be too stubborn to drop out and endorse Biden, and that Biden is absolutely not going to drop out.
Bernie's already said he's not going to. Yeah, but so did Warren.
Yeah, so, I was going to say, and
it's Biden. This is going to be Biden again. I have to preface this with, as long as things stay as they are, if he just keeps making gaffes that they can pass off as, oh, he just made a gaff, he just did a joke.
Yeah.
His mental state, because I really do believe there's something wrong with him. I really do.
I agree with you. I think he's showing dementia.
We actually saw a video the other day where they go back and they show gaffes from before. Go back to 2010. I forget when was that when he made the Indian gaff. You can't go into a 7-Eleven without speaking a little bit of Indian.
Oh, yeah, that was like 10 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that was the one that was labeled 2010. So he has this long history of gaffes that they can go, oh, no, Joe just sometimes. It'd be like me, saying somebody's name wrong.
Right.
If my first sign of dementia was not being able to say people's names, nobody would notice.
But it's the frequency that he does it, though. And he's doing it in public at times when if he could suppress it, he should.
For me, it's not even that. It's the sincerity with which he says it.
Yeah.
Like when he said, I'm Joe Biden and I'm running for Senate.
That's just what I was thinking of, in South Carolina. Yeah.
Above that's the one that made Polly finally agree with me and Jack. He'd been on the fence and he's like, no, you guys were probably right.
Yeah.
That moment is so disturbing.
Yeah.
But he has this long history. So it's just a Joe. So unless he does something really major, this is his to lose. And I don't think he's going to lose it. I think he'll stay in. I think he'll go into I don't think we're even going to get a contested convention.
You think he'll actually go in with enough delegates to secure the nomination on the first ballot?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
If you look at so they need.
I need to do the arithmetic.
They need 1991 to win. Right now, last I saw, he's just over 400 combined. I don't think we've gone through a full 1,000 yet. Which, if you're doing it, that they have to have a majority. 1991 would be what? You're talking about almost 4,000 delegates total?
Yeah. Biden's like 475 and Bernie's 415.
Yeah. So as long as Biden gets a majority of the rest of the races, which he should, there's very few places that Bernie's gonna beat him. And since all of the delegates, I don't think are Are there any states that give them all out? Any major states that all go to the winner?
No, not in Democrats. Republicans,
Yeah.
yes,
So
but not Democrat.
as long as he can pull off 50% plus one in every state, then yeah, he walks in with it may be a slim majority, but he'll have a majority.
It just has to be one over, and
Yep.
then he will be. Yeah.
And
do you
while
think
Tulsi,
Sanders might run as a spoiler candidate?
no. I want him to. I want him to.
Wouldn't you love to hear the rhetoric?
Well, I really do want to see Sanders versus Bush versus Trump. See, you'd never know I had dementia. Just saying. I really want to see Sanders versus Trump in a straight up debate. And there's a weird thing that would happen in that case. You would have to have, if you had all three of them up on a debate stage, you would have to have Biden arguing against Bernie, arguing against Trump, arguing against Biden. It would be just amazing. If you go back to like 92 with Ross Perot, Ross Perot didn't come at it. Ross Perot was just economics.
Right.
When it came to social issues and stuff, he's like, I don't really care.
Yes.
So it's not like he came out of the Republican Party because Bush had beat him, so he ran. He didn't come out of the Democratic Party because if you come out of that party, you're literally splitting the vote.
Right.
And you're forcing your party to argue against you in the general election.
Yeah.
Or you would force Biden to move to the left to try to pick up Bernie voters, which in the primary, guys, you tend to have. This is why the Democratic primary might seem crazier to some of you, especially if you're conservative, than 2016 for the Republicans. They are going for their base. They're trying to win their party. When they get to the general, you see this on both sides, they move towards the center.
Yeah.
The exception with that was Barack Obama. He didn't kind of move really. He denied a couple of things he said, but for the most part, he was still like, I'm being me. And I'll give him credit for that. But everybody else, they move center. So Bernie sticks around. Biden would have to try to move left, and that would just kill them completely.
Yes, I think that these events, taken in aggregate, with everything else that has happened, I believe that this is just making almost certain Trump's reelection. It's Trump's to lose now. The Democrats are going to be in an upper. If Biden and I agree with you, there's a very good chance that he'll walk out of the convention with the nomination pretty easily. The Bernie Bros are not going to be psyched up to go out and vote for Doddering Joe. I don't think the base will be energized, and that's the only way that they won't elect him. There won't be enough votes to elect Joe Biden. He'll lose some surprising states too. There'll be some real surprises. States like Virginia, which you normally think would go Democrat, the base isn't going to show up, and I think the Republican base is going to be energized and very psyched up to go out and vote for Trump.
I think Bloomberg might have cost the Democrats Virginia.
Yes.
He spent so much money.
Yes.
So much money getting the Virginia House to turn blue. And the first thing they did was try to grab guns. And everybody's like, fuck no.
Yes.
And all you have to do is play ads reminding them of what they tried, what Democrats tried.
That's right. You want more of this?
Yep.
Vote.
You want this on a national level?
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I'm going to come with your guns.
Yeah. We're going to put Beto fucking O'Rourke in charge of gun control?
Yes, and then play some of his quotes. Because he literally said that. Yes, I'm going to come for your guns. Yes, I'm going to take your guns away from you.
Yep.
And
of course we're going to take them away from you.
So
yeah, it'll be.
That's not going to play well in Virginia.
Now, Skep, I hate to do this because I'm changing our topics again, but this is one I have to do because I want to.
Sure. What's up?
We're going to talk. We're going to watch a video.
All right.
This is a 7-minute video. I don't know if we're going to watch the whole thing. We're going to watch at least parts of it. Last night, or 2 nights ago now, I forget which day this was. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was on with Fredo Cuomo talking about what happened on Super Tuesday.
I'm smart. I want respect, Mikey.
Oh God, this I watched this and it was worse than I thought it would be. And you guys know how much I think of each of these people, so keep that in mind as we go forward. And make sure, do we have the sound up? Yes, we do. And if you need me to stop at any time, Skep, just say so, and I will be stopping occasionally, just because. Well, two reasons: one, copyright, and two, I can't take these idiots without me having to say something in between.
Right? Yeah, I was just gonna say, be careful, copyright strike. So,
well, as long as we're commenting, it's okay.
Yeah, we'll add value.
Politics, and then we'll talk policies. Politics first. Didn't happen last night on two levels. One, you saw Biden overperform.
Time out. I just want to point this out. This is CNN. You see what this says right here? See what that says? Coronavirus, facts and fears, 10 p.m. How much you want to bet that if that's on YouTube, it's monetized? Fuck you, YouTube.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's because creators are getting demonetized if we even mention it, apparently.
Susan's a hypocrite.
Yeah. So he's saying it didn't happen for them on Super Tuesday.
What was expected. I mean, let's be honest. At this time last week, there was a lot of talk about whether he'd make it through Super Tuesday. Overperformed with people in the suburbs that you people need. Overperformed with what we call white working class people. We both hate the demographics, but they are what they are.
They both hate the demographics. Do you believe that?
Well, I don't know if he hates why he hates the demographics, but look at the look on her face where you froze it right there.
I know, right?
That's that supercilious, smug. I know what's going to go on. And I'm among friends, and I'm about to let you have the wisdom. Look, oh, geez, I mustn't say that.
Yeah, I get you.
She makes me angry.
I do want to point out also that he's talking so far about how, look, they didn't even think Biden was going to stay in the race. The only people who thought that, and I thought what would happen, this was my prediction, that Biden would win a couple of states. I thought the 4 was probably fair. Bernie would win the others, but only because Biden was being, the corporate candidate vote was being cannibalized. When you add all of those votes together, Biden wins everywhere. Except California, Utah, very like what is it? Maybe 8 states in the union go for Sanders. So as soon as they dropped out, as soon as Amy and Pete left,
yes,
it was Biden's. And Amy and Pete were only pulling enough to hurt Biden. It wasn't enough for them to win after those first couple of states, which again, small delegate count and mostly meaningless. But anyhow.
Those are the labels. Why did he overperform? How do you win back, especially in a place like Michigan, where Bernie Sanders must beat Biden?
Well, I think one of the things that we saw, and first of all, of course, we want to be good sportsmen in this process and to
I hate her.
Yeah, same.
Congratulate the former vice president on his performance, but he overperformed because he had low expectations. And
he overperformed because he had low expectations. Is there a more statement out there?
Yeah, voted least likely to be eloquent. She's an idiot. She really is not a good speaker. People, think she's this, polished, intelligent person. I can't believe she has a degree from Boston University or Boston College. I forget which one it is.
Boston U, yeah. I think that has to do with her, with how much she sucks. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that we have to clarify. It was kind of a last minute consolidation of some of the more moderate and conservative Democratic candidates in the cycle.
Okay. I'm sorry. I keep stopping this as much as I do. Again. Okay. He overperformed because of that. And that's what you got to deal with going forward. For the rest of the race. Yes. It's not like they're coming back into the race after Super Tuesday, you fucknut.
Well, the other thing is they're using the term overperformed. He didn't overperform. No one ever overperforms. He performed. It's like people when they say stocks are underpriced in the market. I learned this as a stockbroker when I was with Merrill Lynch. Stocks are never underpriced. They're never overpriced. They're priced. The market determines the price.
Mhm.
His performance was what it was, and it was not an overperformance. He may have done better than what you expected. That's not the same as overperforming.
Yes, he outperformed the polls recently.
Yes.
That's it.
That's all. Yeah.
Which happened right before this race. And
True.
for folks who are making that decision in the Senate,
Pay attention to Fredo here. He keeps saying this word "true," and it kept reminding me of Trump going wrong.
72 hours before the race, where you have these dramatic developments, that is compelling, but that is an event and it is a moment. It is not necessarily a movement, which is what the senator has been building, not just over the past year, but over the past several years.
True again.
Also, something to notice
more true
among Latinos will help put critical states in play in November.
Real quick, thank you, Cryptic, who says her teeth during sucking would hurt. Scrape, scrape. Well, okay, fair enough. I wasn't going to go to other holes. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Bernie's going to help with the Latinas. And this was pointed out by people on Twitter, and this is something I've pointed out. The first time I ever noticed it was Brian Regan. He's a comedian, you guys, who points out how news people do this. She's speaking in perfect, unaccented English until she says Latina.
Right.
Stop it. It's Latina. You're a white girl from the suburbs. Stop it.
Nevada, Arizona, Colorado. These are states that we need to be competitive, and Senator Bernie Sanders is delivering key constituencies that we need to win in November.
I agree with the criticism that there were low expectations. That is actually a matter of fact. Now, it has to be a concern for the Sanders campaign that so many people who broke late broke against him. That's not new. What is new, 2016 versus 2020, is the idea of the movement. And I say it all the time, Congresswoman, that Bernie is the only one who's got a movement behind him. Now the Biden people have beaten me up for it. Whatever, that's the business. They didn't show up for you last night. The young people who you are promising to the party that you can bring in.
Now, I want to talk about this because here's the things. Young voters in key Tuesday states, he's down everywhere. This movement that they're talking about, he built a movement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, down four, pretty consistently. 3 or 4% down, almost all the way across.
Yeah, and in Texas, that's a bad one. You guys kind of need that. You're not going to win it, but still.
Yeah, their fever dreams about Texas being purple are bullshit. Outside of Austin and a little bit parts of North Houston, this is a solid red state.
Didn't come in anywhere. How do you explain that with any optimism?
Well, I think one thing that we have to see, and one huge question, is the largest prize of the night, which is California. And we are going to be having hundreds of delegates decided, which was the largest prize yesterday, which Bernie Sanders won, not won by a little, won by a lot.
This was what set me off about this when I watched it. She's talking about Bernie Sanders. She's basically saying Bernie Sanders can deliver California.
What a relief to the Democrat Party.
California is so blue. Literally, the second the polls closed in 2016, it was called for Hillary.
Yeah. I mean, a glass of water with a D next to its name, to paraphrase Nancy Pelosi, would win California.
But look, Democrats, if you guys want to win California, you better vote. You better vote for fucking
Bernie.
Oh, Bernie.
Yeah.
We're going to see exactly what that lead looks like.
Yeah, we have
the
to see.
coming
It'll
days.
take days. It's hard to know. He's certainly ahead, but you guys wanted like 60% of the delegates. You're looking at like 40, 45 right now, but let's play that out. Let's not play with the ifs.
But we can't get too greedy sometimes.
I hate her.
God, I want to strangle her. I mean, I don't really want to strangle her, Susan. Calm down. But oh man, I just want. I mustn't say what's on.
Look at that face. Look at that face.
I know. I just.
This is why when people tell me she's hot, I'm like, she looks like a fucking donkey.
Yeah, she's a horse-faced, sharp-beaked pain in the ass who just won't shut up. I'm sorry, but that
No, yeah.
greedy business. You know what I mean? It's a greed. You need everything you can get because you
sure,
are at a
for sure.
disadvantage going into
For
the
sure.
convention. And let's talk about why. Let's be honest about it here. The use of the word establishment, okay? I think the case can be made that you lost to Democrats last night, not the establishment. There are too many.
The case can be made that you lost to Democrats when you lost in the Democratic primary.
Well, what he's well, first of all, he's doing a weasel thing that I hate when the media does this. The case could be made. People will say, no, just come out and say whatever hard thing you need to say to the candidate.
Yeah, you lost.
Yeah, you lost last night. You know, you promised all this great stuff. You said the base be energized. They'd come out and put you over, and that didn't happen. What the hell is the problem? But he doesn't have the balls to ask that question. He wants to kiss her ass all the way to the crack, and he doesn't. So he couches it carefully that way, and all the polite formalities of the liberal press are thereby observed, and she feels taken care of and welcomed and safe. And
just wait.
Many different demographics that came to play on Biden's side. You can't dismiss them all as part of the problem. So you are injecting a progressivism into a party that is mostly center left. First, let's talk about the language. Do you have to be careful about establishment because you make people feel like African Americans, like all of a sudden they're part of the problem?
Well, I do think that there's a kind of a disingenuous conflating of what we mean.
Is there
a disingenuous conflating
of what we mean?
Yes. And who are these villains who are conflating that? Is she going to tell us? No, she won't. She'll just say it's happening, and then anybody who disagrees with her is awarded constituency in that problem.
She explains. Hang on, you got to.
Fact of the matter remains that Bernie Sanders is now the only front runner in this race that does not take corporate lobbyist money. He does not take money from health insurance executives. He does not take money from fossil fuel lobbyists, and he does not have closed door. He does not have closed door fundraisers with elites, and I think that is an important distinction.
Now, did you see what she just did there?
Yeah,
he's asking her. Look, the voters are voting for Biden. By saying that Biden is establishment, you are thereby labeling them as establishment and attacking them. And she's like, no, look, Bernie's the only one who doesn't take corporate money.
Yes. Except he does take corporate money. He just takes it from a political action committee, and it passes through them, and it magically becomes pure. It's patently dishonest. This is just absolutely one of the most dishonest moments I've seen in a while.
Okay, I want to jump towards the end here because I can't watch this whole thing again. But I do want to get to the end here. How much time?
My soul is nearly dead.
Here we go.
Has exemplified a commitment.
This is the end of her
I hear you, and the most important poll is going to come out next Tuesday.
Absolutely.
And we will see what happens in Michigan, and that will really do a lot to shape the race. Every time there's an opportunity to discuss these issues going forward, you know you have a place here if you want it. Same goes for the senator.
And I deeply appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the best to you and good luck to the candidate going forward.
Thank you so very much.
Anytime you want to talk about this, why don't you come back here and we'll suck your dick again?
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, are you fucking kidding? How about just thanks for coming on? No. Look, we fucking love you. I would like to have your horse teeth riding my cock.
Yeah. Make her feel safe. Make her feel welcome,
See, that's why I said just wait, because I when you said that, just wait. He might as well have given her a hug.
Pretty much. And whatever happened to the that presumption of adversity in the press, where the press is going to be tough on all the candidates so that the truth will out. That went away sometime in actually, if you want to know the truth, I think it started to go away in the 80s, maybe even before that.
Sinatra is apparently whining that I'm not paying attention to chat. I had a video up. I couldn't even see it. That's why I had to stop when I got the super chat so I could go over and see it. Yeah, I watched it. I'm like, she's a vapid moron. And he actually asked some decent questions, even with him phrasing it as pussyfied as he did. But he let her get away with all of them.
Well, he was confronted with a situation that was, if he'd asked the question straight out, would have been desperately uncomfortable for her, because you have to say, what the hell happened to you? You promised this great effort and it didn't happen. You want to explain this, or do you have an explanation, or are you just going to trot out the same old shibboleths and lies that you usually do? Yeah, that's what he should have said to her, but he couldn't say that to her, and because he has to, as you said, suck her dick, so that she'll feel welcome and come back, and they can signal their virtue again and again, which is basically all CNN does at this point.
Snub said to check my Twitter. I don't see it. Did you send it to the hashtag, or did you send it to me directly? Apparently, Babylon B has a
Oh, I love Babylon.
I fucking love it. Yeah, it's great.
Polydub has an interesting comment. He says all of the money sources she just listed are businesses that are going to be damaged by Sanders, but didn't name any of the ones like Wall Street that do fund. He doesn't take NRA money. Shocker. Yeah, he may not take NRA money, but he takes money from political action committees that get their money from all over the place. Believe me.
Oh, there's a great thing going on, because he's real quick, here it is. Warren returns to tribe in shame after failing to take land back from the pale faces. Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Oh,
hello, Sinatra.
I don't even want to be here.
Hey.
Well, then why'd you fucking ask?
Hey, Sinatra, nice to see you, bud.
Hello. Do I sound okay? I had to get a new fucking mixer board.
No, you sound fine.
Yeah, you sound like you.
I got the same one, but settings are all fucky.
I forgot what we were talking about just before that.
The
money thing. Sanders was asked if he would take donations from Mike Bloomberg and refused to say no.
Right.
If that's not telling.
Yes.
For all of you, that he doesn't take billionaire money, because one of his things he keeps trying to hit people with, well, some billionaires have donated to you. And how any to you? Any? Are you going to say no if they do? They keep talking about how he doesn't take this money. The fuck he doesn't.
Yeah.
The fuck he doesn't.
No, I promise you that Sanders, if he was confronted with lots and lots of money from a billionaire, would say, "I'm doing it for the cause. I normally wouldn't do this, but I'm making an exception because these values are so important to us. This has to be done. The ends justify the means." Just like what's his name, that Chancellor of Germany in 1939.
Who could that be?
I know you answered in chat, but Kyle asked, "What's a mixing board used for?" Some mics require it. If you have a mic that doesn't have a USB. You plug it into a mixing board, and the mixing board plugs into your computer. You can
especially if it needs a phantom power.
Yeah, you can also do it. Yeah, exactly. You can also do it with USB mics. You just get a different cord for it, and you can use it to adjust your settings so you sound better. Hi, Polly.
And 9 times out of 10, fucking XLR mics sound 100 times better than USB.
Hello.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing okay.
Polly, we're finally fucking noticed.
Who are you?
I don't know.
My
name's Sinatra Says, and I forgot this message.
Are you the guy who was complaining in chat? You're not getting. You got to have subs to get noticed, didn't you know?
Yeah, you're right. I must not have enough.
I'm one of those.
I have a standard, a minimum 1,000 views before I talk to someone per video.
Yeah.
I'm one of those clout chasers. That's why Skep's here. Skep has the biggest channel of us all.
I'll talk with you guys in Discord or something, but I'm not scheduling anything.
You can deal with one of my underlings.
Yeah, call my secretary.
Yeah, pretty much.
Have your people call my people.
Screw you, ask yourself, in case nobody knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, people are going to be confused.
What was the movie where the guy says, "I'll have my people call your people," and they go, "I don't have people." Well, I'll have my people call themselves. Was that Fletch Lives? I think it was Fletch Lives. I love that fucking movie. It's dumb as shit, but I love it.
That was definitely from the 80s, wherever it was from. My God. This
is a great line. I'll have my people call themselves. Yeah, it's great. How you been, Polly? We haven't got to talk in a while.
I've been all right. I was feeling bad the night before, and then last night I tried to run comic book curation, and the OBS wasn't cooperating. Sinatra
Yeah, you
was
ruined my
chatting.
fucking shower.
That way.
Why were you in his shower?
I was taking a shower trying to listen to comic book curation, and then it just died. I thought someone was calling me, so I like peeked my head out, and I just saw it was fucking YouTube.
And for once, I don't think it was my potato. It was like, my internet was fine. I was talking to Jack and Quiz in Hangouts. Still, that was fine. I could still talk and chat, but OBS wasn't sending any data. Kilobytes per second were just at 0. I don't know what the fuck. Yeah, no idea what was at the core of that.
Real quick in chat, Nuts just linked our Streamlabs and Skeptalk's Twitter. Guys, remember, we're brought to you by you. If you enjoy what you hear here, I like saying that. Hit the like, hit the share, and if you can, please toss a donation to the gentleman and go follow Skep.
Did you blame me for a burp, Monkey?
You did burp.
I'm not even drinking anything. I didn't burp.
You're the circle that lit up when it happened.
No.
Skep was talking. I muted myself for fuck's. It was you.
That was Monkey.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Anyhow, that's your fault for showering so late, Sinatra. True story.
I take a shower before bed. What, do you get into bed all dirty from the day's fucking yuck?
You wake up all sweaty and just go about your day that way?
I don't sweat in my sleep.
What the fuck are you talking about? What, do you sleep in the cold?
Yes.
I don't believe you.
I have not taken my AC out of the window yet.
Do you
Wait a
run
minute.
it?
Wait a minute. Why would you take your AC out of the window at all? It's not sealed in there. You can't close the little shutter dealies on the inside of it.
It's sealed, but there's a little bit of a draft going through.
Yeah, you can't get them perfect.
I love the cold. Shelly has a heating blanket on her side of the bed.
I still say you wake up dirty. Anyway, Polly, what do you think about Bernie saying he doesn't take corporate money?
Well, I mean, Skep is absolutely right. He does take super PAC money like fucking crazy, and like I was trying to say in chat, in the limited amount of text that's available there, it's the money she lists. Oh, he doesn't take money from the oil and gas industry. You mean the guy who's going to undermine it by eliminating all fracking in the continental United States? That guy? He's still going to take in money from, like, oh, let Saudi Arabia destroy the fucking environment. We're not going to do it with foreign trade. We're just going to destroy the economy here and the job possibilities here, so I can say that I've done it. You know, he still takes Wall Street money. That are all funded by through super PACs.
Yes,
I mean, it's just all of the industries she named off are things that he's planning on regulating. And even if he doesn't ultimately end up regulating them, he needs to, as part of his campaign, say that he's going to. Thus, they feel the threat and the pressure. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's
Wait a minute.
And that was the sense of the joke. It's like it would be like Ocasio-Cortez saying Bernie Sanders has never taken a single dollar from the NRA. The guy who's planning on regulating the fuck out of the industry with gun control legislation all over the fucking place. Wow, he doesn't take NRA money. What a fucking shocker! Are they offering any? Do you think the oil and gas industry is offering money to Bernie Sanders? Like, maybe they are trying to get him to lighten up a little, but. I mean, it's of course he doesn't take money from them.
And not offering it.
Did Fredo say anything to her? No.
He did that throughout. Like I said, he actually asked some decent questions. But even we see this in the debate often too. They'll ask a decent question and then not force them to answer it. Her fucking answer for, how are you going to deal with the fact that you guys completely underperformed was, we're going to deliver California.
We talk about access media in the movies. Like, you guys need to run through the news entertainer thing with me. Like, as far as I take it, you could call them a miserable low down motherfucker like Fredo, right? But no, call them a news entertainer. It's more insulting. I believe they should be up for consideration for Emmys and Golden Globes. Like, I'm not saying they should win. I'm just saying they're as entertainment. Like, The View is up for those kind of TV awards, because they're an entertainment-based show that just happens to be based in current events. That's what's going on at CNN and MSNBC and Fox too. They're entertainment-based stuff. It's not journalism. And that we all know what access media is like. You're not going to sit there and grill a movie star about a bunch of hard questions, because you'll never get to interview another movie star again. It's the same kind of thing with politicians. You think they're going to grill the shit out of Ocasio-Cortez? Why doesn't Ocasio-Cortez show up on Fox? Because they drill shit out of her, and she doesn't want that, so she shows up where the softballs are. It's access media, just like entertainment journalists.
One of the things Skep mentioned very early on, if you watch this interview, she looks like she has just come to talk to her best friend. She doesn't look like she's a politician there to answer questions to a news person.
No, she's got no decorum or anything. She's happy and bubbly. And
hello. Like she's just down some wine coolers.
It's the vibe that you see politicians walk out to a rally with. They know the audience is packed with their own supporters, and you're there to get them excited about you and what you think. You know what I mean?
Friendly environment.
Yeah.
Oh, that fucking interview. I'm like, are you for real? You promised California.
Do you sweat in your sleep?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Every night?
No, once in a while, my body's natural occurring cool down cycle stops itself.
Why do you go to bed so hot?
I don't. I have a fan, and now these days I'm freezing all the time, so I'm wrapped up in a blanket all the time. But even without sweat, your skin sloughs, and
your skin does just not naturally sweat when you sleep. For no reason, you don't just start sweating.
You get warm, and your body, you sweat. True W, thank you. Let me ask you: did you ever wash your sheets?
Yeah, like once every 2
Why?
weeks. Because you're laying in them.
Because he sleeps in a bed of filth.
Why would you need to wash your sheets if nothing happens while you're sleeping? Drew, thank you so much. It's why no Dem debate was on Fox. Oh, that's absolutely true as well. Well, that and the Democrats just wanted to give a big fuck you to Fox.
Yep.
Yeah, you want to hear a gross story?
The chat seems to be really torn on this.
What about sweating in your sleep being bad?
He sleeps on a bed of flies.
Bed of flies. I just saw that. Yeah,
nice. They're not lies; they're dissemination and half truths. It's different, and they're very fluffy.
I do have fluffy reasons why I change the fucking sheets too.
You were going to tell us a gross story.
Okay, here's the gross story. I'm vacuuming in the room that my computer's in, the one I'm in right now, and I've got the duster attachment with the bristles on it for shelves and stuff, right? Oh, you got a super chat there.
Thank you, Bubba Hotep. I am my own space heater. I'm constantly looking for the cool side of my bed. Yeah, I feel you on that one.
If I could invent the pillow that plugs in that stayed cool all night long, I'd be a millionaire, man.
Yeah.
I just like the cool side of the pillow is the one you're on. That would be like the tag for the company, You
can't have it plug in. Somebody's going to strangle themselves or it's going to catch on fire. It's got to be battery operated.
Well, there's electric blankets to the day,
That's not saying I have never been sweating in my sleep. It's happened, but it doesn't happen every time I sleep.
It happened. Look, I'm just giving you shit because there's an argument that's been going on in society forever. Do you shower before bed or when you wake up? I don't really care. I do both. I shower all the fucking time. So I just want to give you some shit.
This is turning into like the British with their, does the milk go in before or after the tea goes in, where people will start fucking knife fights over it and shit.
Menopausal woman.
So anyway, this actually relates to you guys in your sleeping dirty sheets story. Okay. So I'm vacuuming in and around. Okay. And I've told you about my potato. One of the additional features that my laptop has is a couple of loose keys that just happen to be sitting there. And in my, the only thing holding them in their place is, gravity. So I go over there. I'm like, I get the brilliant idea. Oh, there's a little bit of dust on the computer. Let me just run this brush across and I hear tink, 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 as they go flying down the vacuum hose. And I'm like, fuck. And I start, so anyway, I open up the bottom of the vacuum. I take the vacuum bag out, right? And I'm like,
he took a sweaty nap.
Yeah. And the story's done. No, I take a look at the vacuum bag and I'm thinking, now look, I just sucked them up. They should be like right at the top of all of the vacuum and stuff inside the bag. And so I'm like, I just need a flashlight and I'm going to look in there. And I looked in there. You guys know what dust is mostly comprised of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Skin, yeah.
Skin. Like, and that, it was just a big bag of dust. That's all that was in there. A couple little pieces of like really small gravel or whatever the fuck, right? But mostly dust. And I'm looking in there, and there's my gross story. That's what's on your sheets. That's what's on your pillows. A concentrated bag of dry human skin is what I was looking at.
Yeah.
I was disgusted, man. Just because the whole time I'm poking around for the key, I'm like, this is all skin. This is all my skin. It was awful.
You know what that just reminded me? You're looking through it. I'm thinking of the Batman 1969 movie where they take all the water out of the UN people and they're just a pile of dust there. That was you.
I thought, well, Skip, I think we would more recognize the episode of the original series Star Trek.
Right?
Yeah, where they go on the ship, the Omega Factor, or the Omega Glory, where they go on the ship and they're all reduced to a few pounds of chemicals.
Yep.
It's nice
The
having a
Batman
Trek fan around. You guys just don't get it. It's fine.
If you've never seen the 1969 Batman movie, go watch it. It is amazing.
Are you trying to tell me they ripped off the 1968 Star Trek episode?
Probably. Corey, thank you. Excuse me, Polly. I'm eating here. There you go.
Sorry about that.
Don't worry. You're probably getting some dust on it. You're eating yourself right now.
Right.
Yes. I got the key. I got the keys back right away. Short version of the story. I see them in there, and I'm like, you know what? I got them out with a pair of needle nose pliers because I wasn't putting my fingers in there.
Just go in there and grab it and go wash your hands.
No, man. I was thinking because I'm like I said,
That's how
If your hands
coronavirus
aren't
starts.
sweating, why do you need to wash your hands?
Because how do you think that dust is there? Your skin constantly comes off, dummy.
Yeah, but if you're not sweating, why?
Why? What?
Yeah,
You don't
like
have
you
to be
said,
sweating
if you
for
don't
your
sweat,
skin to come off.
why do you change your sheets? If you're not sweating, why do you need to wash?
Because your skin still comes off and you still touch stuff and you still get dirty.
Well, there's grease in your skin too. I mean,
There's that
the
too.
oils from your skin. Yeah. Get on
Do you-
the sheets, make them all
You
gamey.
need to start sleeping on plastic sheets.
Do you guys want to hear something funny?
Do you only wash your sheets every 2 weeks? I find that hilarious. You're complaining about grossness. I wash them every fucking weekend. What are you doing?
I have like 3 pairs of sheets.
Yeah, well,
I'm not sweating through my fucking sheets every night. I don't wake up with pit stains.
I didn't say I wake up with pit stains, but you are little kids, man.
Monkey in the morning, where we discuss the important issues.
Wow. You and that sound clip, man. I tuned into Tucker Tuesday on Wednesday, and it was right after somebody donated for that, and you played it. And I love Sinatra for this, but he is such a little kid when it comes to like fart noises. When he first watched this video, he does this laugh where you can tell it is the funniest thing he's ever seen. And he's doing it right now. Every time you hear him, he does that. You are a child, and I love you for it.
Dude, I watched that like 4 times when I first saw it, and I was like, all right, that is my favorite thing I've ever seen ever. I was crying.
If you guys haven't seen it, it's was it a TikTok video?
Yeah, it's a TikTok video of this rotund black gentleman, and he's just laying in bed with his woman, and he just kind of leans up and he picks his leg up and he just lets go this monstrous 11-second fart.
Yeah, what you just heard is only a small bit of it.
It sounds like a
noise?
truck shifting
Yes.
gears.
I thought that was somebody getting close to the mic, peeking it out, just going bah, or whatever the fuck.
No,
No,
that's
that is a fart.
I did not
Jesus.
realize that was a fart sound. That is impressive. That's impressive.
Do you want to hear the whole thing?
no.
No, not really.
Are you sure I can play it?
Don't make me mute you.
Yeah.
See him laughing? That's what I'm saying. Him laughing at it makes me laugh at it.
Yeah.
Who was
Satsu
around
gets
him
me
in
with
this
it.
video when he did that?
His wife.
His wife.
She is
That's
like
great.
sitting right
great.
behind his ass.
He's farting
and
on
she
her,
is
basically.
just staring at him like,
So,
You
someone got a link
motherfucker.
for me or something? I want to see it.
oh yeah, I put it on Twitter. I'll send it to you. How much do we donate for you to play the whole thing? Whatever the numerical value of fart is, I think it's 3278.
How did you come up with that number?
Like on a phone.
Oh, I get you.
Type in fart on your phone.
Cody Fry, thank you, says the Ohio educational system has failed Sinatra in the area of basic health and biology. Well, it's public health or public education.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, it fails everybody everywhere all the time, unfortunately.
Speaking of Ohio, I was watching a Deadwing Dork video the other day where he was going over this person on 4chan talking about their sexual fetish for the state of Ohio.
Polly, check your DMs.
Cool. It got deep because I was like, how the fuck could you possibly have a sexual fetish for the state of Ohio? But they told the whole story. It went on for a long time. And by the time they were done, I'm like, okay, I'm now convinced and grossed out. There's some crazy people out there.
Sorry, I'm scrolling my Twitter right now because did Warren come out with a statement?
I'm wondering how long till she absolutely endorses Biden.
I don't think she will. I don't see her endorsing anybody but Bernie. I mean, she could.
There is a 0% chance she's going to endorse Bernie because she has lied about him so fucking much.
Well, she only really did the.
She fucking hates Bernie.
Well, she hates Bernie because she blames him for her not winning, and that's partially true because the demographic they were going after is the same one. Oh, Alyssa Milano tweeted out, "I love you, Elizabeth Warren. Watching you campaign with such."
Polly's watching it.
Are you guys okay over there?
The simple smile that he has on his face at the end.
Good God.
Did you look at the woman's face?
Oh,
Skip, remind me next time not to give them the link. Where is it? We'll play it for the chat. God damn it. You're going to make me do this.
By the way, I've got Warren's statement. If you're,
let us play this fart and get it out of the way.
Yeah. Her statement is a fart.
The woman's face the whole time, and his face at the end of just that serene little smile that he has. Like he's just.
She is just bathing in it too. She's just sitting there like. I think Drunk will put it best. She's disgusted and a little bit horny.
That's horrible. Wait till you guys see it now. I'm trying to find it in your fucking timeline, dude. Damn, you tweet a lot.
I do.
Do you want me to just hit you up with the link monkey?
Yeah, if you got the link, please make it easier.
Copy video address. I went back and it started playing again.
There it is. Okay.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Yeah, Sin sent it over. Oh God, if you stop it immediately, it makes this really horrific sound. Oh my God.
Satsu caught that. He's like, the uptick on it. The uptick is amazing.
All right, guys. It's 11 seconds. It's about to get gross in here. Look at her face. There you go.
That's just wrong. That's just not good.
See, you can't even see she's there in the first couple of seconds. That's what's so great that you realize there's someone right behind him.
And Jar Jar Binks, thank you. Were you crazies looking at Poop's site again? No, this came across Twitter, didn't it?
No, I found it on Facebook. Oh fuck,
Okay,
I'm crying
fair
again.
enough. Okay, now with the fart out of the way, let's get to the turd. What's her statement here, Scott?
Well, she this was a call to her staffers that they later republished for general dissemination. I want all of you to hear it first, and I want you to hear it straight from me. Today, I'm suspending our campaign for president. What we have done and the ideas we have launched into the world, the way we have fought this fight, the relationships we have built, will carry through for the rest of this election and the one after that and the one after that. It was followed up with last night we fell well short of our viability goals and projections, and we were disappointed with the results. That was from campaign manager Roger Lau. All of us have worked for Elizabeth long enough to know that she isn't a lifetime politician and doesn't think like one. She's going to take time right now to think through the right way to continue this fight. There's a lot at stake for this country and the millions of people who are falling further and further behind. Here's an interesting thing about this. I think she was too pissed off and too upset to face the cameras directly, and that's why she released what she told her campaign workers for general publication, and then had a staffer amplify, because I think this is probably pretty emotional for her.
Yeah. She pulled what is since 2016 known as the Podesta move at the Javits.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. She might
coward,
she's
afraid to
probably
come
not
out.
as drunk as Hillary was, but yeah.
Or is this just as upset and angry? And it's like, come out and address the people. This is high pressure. You are going for one of the highest pressure positions of them all and claiming to be qualified and have the correct temperament for it. Really? Do you?
Yeah.
Hang on.
Monkey.
Jar Jar Binks, thank you so much. Turd, you leave Cortez out of this. She's politically challenged. Thank you so much.
Monkey.
What?
We got saddles for the murder chickens.
Yes, I put them on last night.
Oh.
Ginger Snap, thank you so much for the happy face sticker. Was that for the fart? No, I am curious. Given the fact that she didn't, this does sound like a campaign staffer wrote this. I mean, because they actually refer to her in third person.
Yeah, well, no, they pointed that out. That was the last part was from a campaign staffer.
Right. I'm curious. Do you think that they had to force her into this? That somebody had to sit her down and go, "You have no chance," or do you think she's just pissed off that she lost and can't face it?
I think she's pissed off that she lost.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, pissed off that she's lost and can't face it. Like, is she couldn't face the reality of it? Like,
Yeah.
you kind of asked two separate questions there. Right?
Well, that was on purpose. See, okay. I think that this is probably more likely that they had to force her into this, and she's like, "I'm not dealing with you fuckers right now," as opposed to her being like, "We lost, and I just can't face the loss," which is what we saw with Hillary in 2016. You know,
right?
I can't face my constituents right now because it's just too. I'm a woman, and it's too emotional for me. Sorry.
Well, it was like, I mean, who said Jack Gunsky don't elect a woman? I would disagree with that. I think somebody like Tulsi, who had been in the military and faced actual pressure. Do you think that Warren has? I would argue no. Is that she's not a lifelong politician or a career politician? I would agree with you. She's a lifelong opportunist.
Yes, that's well said.
There are not pressures like this in the academy. I mean, she's been a law school professor. You know, probably most pressure she's ever had was passing the bar exam or passing a final.
Which can be a fuck ton of pressure. You go on and be CEO and you have to deal with crisis management. There can be pressure like a motherfucker that'll build you up to a certain level. She just does not come across like somebody who has done that. She's not nature
that way. I agree.
Yeah. The robotic android programmed rehearsed nature of her barbs at
brittle and shrill.
Yeah, I'm going to come. Are you saying here tonight in front of the American people that you will release those women from their NDA? How many fucking times did you say that over with your prep people, lady? Yeah. That sounded as rehearsed as a Broadway stage.
Yep.
I have to point. I'm going to miss these things. The memes from Warren says Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren finally figured out she was the low woman on the totem pole. She now leaves behind a trail of tears.
Yes. I'm Shady posted in one of the servers I'm on over in Discord the picture of the crying Indian.
That's another.
You know that
one.
guy's not even an Indian.
That's the joke. Like, you know what I mean? That's like the Sicilian guy who's dressed up as an Indian who's crying over Warren.
His name is Oscar something.
This is just too fucking perfect. I mean, that is the there should be a mass tweeting of this at Warren. Don't actually do that.
Yeah, you throw that fucking please no in there.
Has Trump commented yet?
Yes, Trump has commented. In fact,
here it is.
He posted the crying Indian meme.
Did he really?
No,
I don't think so.
Here's his tweet.
Okay.
Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren, who was going nowhere except into Mini Mike's head, just dropped out of the Democratic primary. 3 days too late. She cost Bernie at least Massachusetts, Minnesota, and Texas. Probably cost him the nomination. Came in third in Massachusetts.
You know,
at least he didn't call her Pocahontas.
Speaking of,
he did.
He started it that way.
Yeah, Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren, who was going nowhere except into Minnie Mike's head, and 3 days too late is in caps. This is classic Trump.
Well, this is something that with Amy and Pete really made me. I don't think I've seen this before, where they wait this long after one of the primaries to drop out.
Yeah.
Usually it's the next day, like Bloomberg did. Next day, yeah, that we got no chance. You see, these guys, it's like, well, I'm gonna go. And with Pete and Amy, we're all pretty sure. I think we're in agreement that they were promised something.
Yes.
I don't know what Elizabeth would have been promised.
That's just it. I don't think anybody promised her or offered her anything. Thus, why she hung in for so long. Tulsi as well. And let's not insult Tulsi. She did win, American Samoa.
Well, she was second.
She was second. She got
she got a delegate, didn't she?
A delegate.
She got one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She
got
can
a
still
delegate,
go to the next debate.
Hi, Jack. How you doing, my friend?
Not bad. How you fellas doing?
Hey, Jack.
Hey, Skip.
Let's see. We've had some weird discussions so far today.
Well, I just got the smoke signals, so.
Oh yeah.
Do you sweat in your sleep, Jack?
Only when it's really hot out.
Thank you.
Believe it or not, that was the subject of discussion for a little bit.
Okay, that's weird.
Monkey said that he sweats in his sleep all the time.
That's because he falls down the stairs. That's his body healing.
That could have been it too. No, you still sweat. There's still like Skep pointed out. There's oil on your skin.
Well, yeah, I mean
but that's not sweating. That's normal.
Yeah, that's a body process because you probably do that during the daytime. You just don't. You're moving, so it like doesn't consolidate. Wears off or something. It's not like you develop a protective sheen in case Godzilla tries to capture you in the night. You can slip away like a.
Apparently, that's what
you're
Monkey
missing.
thinks.
No. The whole point was Sinatra says he showers before bed, so he's not dirty when he goes to sleep. And the point being, you're still going to get your sheets dirty, even if you wash literally right before you crawl into bed.
Well, yeah, you get like dead skin cells. You shower so you look sexy in your dreams.
Well, maybe you do.
I look like a dirty whore in my dreams.
Yeah, I mean.
So, Monkey.
Yes.
Do you? I was having a discussion with a few people about political predictions and why you shouldn't make them unless you're absolutely certain, and the ability for people to seem so sure of something after it's happened. It's like, let me tell you why this happened. Do you remember about 3-4 months back when I was talking about do not underestimate Joe Biden?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, okay. I remember people making fun of me, and they're like, "Oh, come on, Biden!" And then I remember people busting my balls, even at campus. They were like, "Oh, come on, look how bad he's doing." And I'm like, "Okay, just wait for everything to play out." I'm not saying he's ultimately going to win. All I ever said was, "Don't underestimate the guy. He's got a real strong following, and that Obama sheen's on him, and he's the middle of the road compared to all these people that are running to the left."
He's going to make a great senator.
You and I mostly agreed that Biden had the best chance to win this.
I thought that was the consensus from the beginning.
No,
it's going to be
at the
Biden.
very beginning. No, I thought Booker was going to take it. I thought he was actually going to do something with his campaign, and he just fucking flamed out.
I really thought that the media was going to stay behind what's her name more than they did. That's where I was wrong. Yeah, Harris. Yeah. That's where I was wrong. It's like, wow, did they drop her like a hot rotten potato? It was.
Yeah, I called that one for Warren.
I called it for Biden from the beginning. It was never a doubt.
We talked about this earlier, Polly. There was a guy, and I forget what his name is, but on Twitter, it's like nobody would have predicted what happened Tuesday. That makes you need to be humble going forward with your predictions. Like, no, you don't. You're predicting something, so yes, there's a chance you're going to be wrong. There's nothing wrong with being wrong in a prediction,
right?
But like with Biden, if you go back to say a week ago, because that was his time frame, and you already know Pete and Amy are going to drop out, then Biden's win on Tuesday made perfect sense. There's no reason it wouldn't have happened that way.
Well, how about this?
That's why you hedge your bets.
Why you don't make 100% call like news entertainers do? Because they can just move on and just, oh, there's absolutely no chance. And the next day they're saying, well, of course, this was predictable. Anybody who was watching could understand that. And it's like, wait a minute, that's the exact opposite of what you were saying yesterday.
Avenatti's our best chance. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Look, all I'm saying is if Biden becomes president, we are totally getting invaded by space aliens because we're in a timeline where we're in a wacky comedy horror movie like Mars Attacks.
Fair enough.
Okay.
I don't think
Paloma
anything-
Blanca.
Right?
Somebody
Slip
Teddy asked an
Whitman on
interesting
deck.
question about Michelle Obama running for VP or president.
Yes, he is a man.
I believe that she absolutely has political designs and political ambitions, but not this run. No, too much has gone on and too much has run too fast. And could it happen? Oh yeah, but it's an extremely small chance. There would have to be a split across a plurality of people where there's a chance to go into a brokered convention and steal it. Then it would be possible. But I mean, it's split really well between Bernie and Slow Joe. So
Well, I
as
don't
for-
know because sorry.
No, you go ahead.
If you run that ticket with Biden Obama, you could have like change and hope all over again, but this time the change would be from male to female.
well, okay.
See what I
Yes,
did there?
but
Yes, I see
mean,
what you did there.
VP for Biden, no, because it would undermine everything that he'd be saying up to this point and be destructive to his credibility. As Barack said, I have to win this on my own. How many times did he say that over the past few days to announce when you're going into the convention now that I'm going to be taking on the former first lady as my vice president? Like
but,
it's gonna be Biden Obama instead of Obama Biden. No, that's just so destructive to his credibility.
It doesn't matter because credibility is useless to the Democratic Party at this point. They all have gone back on their positions. Plus, they'd get the trans vote, and they would get all the other minorities. Like
yeah, but this is
transitioning into new change.
This is national level politics now, and not just Democratic politics between them, their voters, and the news entertainers who support them.
Yeah,
Right?
but
I
the
think
news entertainers
picking-
are going to cover up any
I'm
lie.
willing to bet that he will pick Michelle Obama or Stacey
No.
Abrams. It's going to be some what does Satsu call him? Vagina wielding Negro.
Yes, vagina wielding Negro. I don't think it'll be. I think Michelle would actually be a great VP choice for him, except that it would be very much like McCain Palin, where she would just overshadow him.
Is that because of her broad shoulders?
Yes, because that's a big man.
She will literally overshadow him.
But I disagree with you slightly, Polly. So far, I haven't seen Michelle seem like she wants to get in. She likes to play in politics, but she doesn't seem like she wants to jump in anywhere.
I think she has political designs when you hear her talk, and now she keeps her feet in the different advisory boards that she sits on. Will she ultimately play through with it? Maybe not, but is she keeping her feet very much wet? Oh, fuck yes.
Cody, thank you so much. There's nothing wrong with being wrong about a prediction. Well, there's at least one thing wrong.
I watched the
Thank you,
Daily Wire
Mhm.
Super Tuesday coverage like after the fact, and their 4-hour coverage, and they went over their brackets, like their predictions, right? And it was funny who was right, who was wrong. Ben, who infamously doesn't do very well in his predictions, actually did fairly well, except for the one place where everybody fucked up, Massachusetts. Everybody gave it to Warren, and of course she came in third. Just because it was her home state, and there was every reason to think it. Like it was either a balance between Warren and Biden or not. Like you know,
pointing to Bernie beating the shit out of her.
to the point where she came in third, where she couldn't beat either one of
No,
them.
third becomes all of the ones that he won, because he was only supposed to, by all predictions, win 4 states, and all of them southern states. When you take out Amy and Pete and add their polls into Biden's, he's shot to where he should have been. And none of these are really surprising. And I get what you're saying. Yeah, they're like because it's her home state, but it's still Elizabeth Warren. And there were maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago now is when the polls started changing, and people were like, "No, we're not supporting her."
Well, there's what the polls say, and then there's what the history of the electorate says. And in the New England area, especially, which of course Massachusetts is a major part of, they vote incumbents. And they do. And it's like the polls are one thing, favorability and such, but then like, how do they actually vote? Well, in New England, more than anywhere else, New England and California, they vote incumbency. And that's why they made that claim. They were basing it off of previous patterns, and the pattern, always fits until it doesn't, right?
Sure, exactly. And she's just such a bad candidate, man. She really is.
Oh, yeah, she's fucking terrible. But hey.
No, I think most of because there's you have the whole arguments. Warren stole votes from Sanders. Well, Bloomberg stole from Biden, and if you add those together, if you take out Warren and Bloomberg, the election pretty much is exactly the same as it was. Biden is going to win this thing going forward, especially now that Warren's out, because any Biden supporters that were for her are now going to him, and she doesn't have enough to carry Bernie. No, I mean. We talked about this. Biden's gaffes. The reason that most of us look at this and go, why in the fuck would you elect him, are put off as just gaffes that have been happening to him since he's been in public life.
They called him the gaff master. The gas master.
Well,
He farts a lot.
One thing that becomes like very clear is that when you like how disconnected like you saw how low the viewership of the debates was, and we're laughing at that, right? But that also means that that doesn't just mean the viewership is low. That means the viewership is low. Like, I don't think people are grasping what that means. That means nobody's watching them gaff. No one's watching them fuck up. And we laugh about CNN's ratings. It's like, well, did you see him fuck up on CNN? No. The 5 people at an airport with a fucking delayed flight slot, and that's it. Like, as a joke, but you get the idea. Like, I was talking to one of my friends who's a registered Democrat, and she is not a fan of Trump, et cetera, et cetera. She doesn't know anything about this. And we had a conversation where I said, well, Elizabeth Warren, when it gets to the national stage and the whole Indian thing, and she goes, what Indian thing? I explained to her, she goes, you can't be fucking serious. And I said, yeah. And she said, wait a minute, Harvard actually named her as a woman of color? That's hilarious. And I said, she had never even heard of this monkey. This is, do you understand what I'm saying? This is the disconnect. This is the.
I just saw a tweet, and I have to change the subject just slightly. We're still on this, but this is an article just published by The Atlantic. Wait till you hear this title. America punished Elizabeth Warren for her competence.
Oh my God.
And so it begins.
The Atlantic wins again. Nice.
What in the fuck are you talking about?
It's a tradition in America to crack down on the natives. And this is really just her trail of tears.
Let me take a wild guess. The Atlantic is going to go into, in the era of Trump, where blatant incompetency and outright lies get you elected. Somebody who's the polar opposite of that in terms of truth, virtue, and hard work is obviously not going to be rewarded.
He is Andrew Jackson 2.0. That's all I'm saying.
Real quick, Skep, sometimes you got to just talk over these guys.
No worries at all.
Richo asked me to tell you something, Monk. He said, harden up and go vote if you care so much.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I do vote.
I don't know. I was just told to say it. I don't know context. I just got here. I've been dealing with the cops all day.
What'd you do?
Nothing. One of my neighbors murdered his wife and then shot himself.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And guess who has the best surveillance shit in town? Oh, me.
What, did it see through the fucking walls?
I don't know. They wanted to review videos, see if I had anything.
Okay, he just sees you fucking sneaking out.
Well, I have like internal cameras in the house too, so they're like, what are you doing yelling at your monitor all the time? I'm like, I'm on a live stream, okay?
Okay, here goes the article. And from what I've read so far, this is interesting. In November 2019.
Real quick, who were you talking about the other day that said going against Warren was sexism? It was some female, Jessica Valente, maybe?
Yeah, maybe it was Valente. It was Valente.
She's on suicide watch right now. I guarantee it.
She wrote the story. I will never forget what America has done to Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. That was a Medium article sent in by Frosted Glass because he likes to piss me off.
Jessica Valente on suicide watch. And also not being raped.
Frosted has done a lot of work making that corner his own. He's got a little TV over there, a nice flower print.
He's our chief corner correspondent now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Monkey, this article, is this the one in Atlantic that says, as for Elizabeth Warren, when I hear her talk, I want to slap her even when I agree with her? Okay.
Yes.
This is wonderful. This is nothing but goodness.
In November 2019, as the Democratic presidential candidates prepared for the primaries that have been taking place unofficially for more than a year and that would begin in earnest in February, 538's Claire Malone profiled Pete Buttigieg. In the process, Malone spoke with two women, keep that in mind, at a Buttigieg event in New Hampshire. One liked Joe Biden, but felt he was a bit too old for the presidency. The other liked Buttigieg without qualification. Quote, I feel he's well positioned, she explained. The country is ready for a more gentle approach. As for Elizabeth Warren, quote, when I hear her talk, I want to slap her, even when I agree with her.
Tell me that's not great.
This is coming from a Democratic woman, you guys.
Yes.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
A version of that sentiment, Warren inspiring irrational animus among those whom she has sought as constituents, was a common refrain about the candidate who announced today that she's suspending her campaign. This complaint tends to take on not the substance of Warren's stated positions, but instead the style with which she delivers them. And it has been expressed by pundits as well as voters. Politico in September ran an article featuring quotes from the Obama administration officials calling Warren sanctimonious and narcissistic. She is a narcissist.
And she is sanctimonious.
So she's a sanctimonious narcissist.
The Boston Herald ran a story criticizing Warren's self-righteous, abrasive style. The New York Times columnist Brett Stevens in October described Warren as intensely alienating, and a know-it-all. Donnie Deutsch, however you say his name, the MSNBC commentator, has dismissed Warren, the person and candidate, as unlikable and has attributed her failure to ingratiate herself with him specifically as a result of high school principal demeanor. How many times have we said that, Polly?
Mm-hmm.
Jack?
Yep.
Yeah, we've had that conversation a few times.
I've said it a few times myself.
Disapproving school marm.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. Mrs. Grundy.
I'm missing the part where we're
Grundy, nice.
I don't see where she's going with this, to be honest with you.
Can I just say one thing? This is my personal bias. Yeah, well, I'm going to anyway. It's my personal bias, okay? Ben Shapiro, he was delighting, like in Warren failing as bad as she did on Super Tuesday. He was delighting in it. And I know why. He talked about it. He had to take classes with her at Harvard. I get it. To have one, like, and he couldn't stand her at Harvard. To have one of my professors, one of my self-righteous, dictatorial professors that are just like, my worldview is correct and right, and there's a power relationship there, so you can't argue with them, or, you know, et cetera, et cetera. I can only fucking imagine Elizabeth Warren teaching a class at your law school, how awful that must have been. And to be able to be in Shapiro's position of criticizing this shit out of her must have been delightful. To see her fail after so many years of going on and on and on, like, I just, whew. I understand his he called it Schadenfreude. He just already said the Schadenfreude that I'm enjoying right now, seeing Warren fail like this. And I'm like, I get it, man. I mean, not personally, but I get it.
Imagine being one of the special needs kids she taught. Yeah, you think she's condescending to normal people. Imagine how she talks to people she thinks are like broken.
She probably beat those special ed kids.
Probably.
Think about being the principal out there that she is accused how many times now of firing her because she was pregnant?
Yeah. I finally got to the point of one of the truisms of the 2020 campaign, just as it was a truism in 2016 and 2008, is that women candidates are punished still for public displays of ambition. Fuck you.
Yeah, get fucked.
Public displays of ambition.
Yes.
Huh. All right.
Is that what they call scalping?
We talk about men the same way we talk about women. Yes, we use slightly different words. You use a bossy for women. You rarely use that with men. Instead, you call them cocksuckers or assholes. The idea that we don't scrutinize men as much as we do women is fucking retarded.
Men
And
are
it is-
scrutinized even more so.
Which
Let's just be
victimizes
honest
women.
about
You're disproportionately scrutinizing men then. Look at you, you bigot.
Well, it's true.
Yeah.
You just can't win with these people. They're never satisfied. They refuse
You know
to
what?
see past their agenda.
They have to make that about Elizabeth Warren, and they're not applying those same, like, why aren't those things true of Amy Klobuchar then? You don't have to like Klobuchar to understand that she was eminently more electable than Elizabeth Warren was on a federal level.
Far more likable too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And has a track record that's a lot stronger and so on. If the media had loved her and treated her as a darling as much as they had Warren, Warren only got to where she was by the free constant advertising.
Well,
She doesn't really have the track record in the background and the so on to be able to support the amount of fame that she had.
What's really important there is the so on. That's what you really need, a good amount of so on.
Look,
Thank you.
sewing is sexist because that's woman work.
All right.
I am enjoying this, gentlemen, but I have to go, so we have to wrap this up. What time are we at? We're at 2:30. Holy shit!
Wow, I killed the stream with a bad joke. Fuck me.
You do that often. We just usually keep going. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today. Thank you so very much for the donations. You guys, your support, it means the world to me, and I really do thank you for it. Skep anything you want to shill today? Skep?
Go over to Skep Talk's channel for the sound of crickets.
Fair enough. We'll come back to him. Sinatra, anything you want to show?
Yeah, I'll have a creepypasta out later. New video tomorrow. I have some stuff to do in the morning with the kids, so I don't know if I'll be able to get one out tomorrow as well. But there will be a video, maybe not a creepypasta.
All right. And Jack, anything you want to show?
I think, are we still doing part 2 of last night's stream, Polly?
Oh, yes, we are. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I'll be on Polydub's channel. Otherwise, I'll probably drop a new video. I got nothing.
Fair enough. And Polly?
There is the link to my channel, and as Jack just mentioned, technical issues abounded last night when we tried to do comic book curation, so we're going to do it again tonight, and hopefully it'll play out, and you still have that expose I'm doing on Sinatra, the incredible fraud that he is. He deserves it. Okay. So...
Nuts put the link to follow Skeptalk on Twitter. Make sure you guys do that. Skep, are you back? We lost Skep. Oh,
No, I am back.
there he is.
Oh, there we go.
I had accidentally muted my mic. I had unmuted myself on the channel and double muted myself. I am back. Skeptalk at Skeptic Alpha on Twitter, and would appreciate it. I put out a video about once a year on YouTube. So in the 2 years I've
you're
been
over
on
on
YouTube.
You're on Blind Press's channel all the time, and you should
Yes, I am on Blind Press's channel all the time, Wednesdays with Skep, and of course, Minions of the Zoo. I'm the Tuesday host, and that's at 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern, and something in Pacific or Australia or whatever. So please come and join us. We do have a good time, and I want to thank Monkey for having me on, and you guys putting up with the geriatric input that I have today. It's great fun to hang out with you guys. It really is. Thanks.
Oh, no. Thanks for coming and hanging out.
Anytime.
Chat, thank you guys. Skep, Jack, Sinatra, Polly, thank you guys for joining me. Everybody, enjoy your rest of whatever day this is, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.
Later.
Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.
Jeff, Twitter.
This is my